What is up, Zelda Speedruns 4? I hope you're having a lovely morning, afternoon, evening, no matter what time zone you are in. And welcome to DDR. Welcome to something a bit different than usual. Without further ado, I'll hand you over to your commentators, Wolfman and Dobby Digital. Dobby, how are you, and what the heck is DDR?
Hello, welcome everyone, and also hi, Wolfman as well.
Greetings.
So yeah, if this is your first time seeing a DDR restream, first off, welcome. We're good to hear. And yeah, DDR is a glitch rule set that's specifically designed for Randomizer that allows a lot of quality of life glitches while banning some of those powerful glitches in the game. So some examples of things you will not see today in terms of glitches are item manipulation, wrong warping, and bomb hovering, being the major three. If you are curious to see the whole list of things that are not allowed, you can check the link there. Additionally, they have a couple of different requirements in order to enter dungeons. That's the name. So in order to enter a dungeon, you have to do it more or less the intended way, such as you have to use hookshot and get up to the entered forest temple. You have to use the hookshot to hit the crystal to enter water temple, etc. Additionally, in order to get to boss rooms, you have to stand in front of the boss door and press A. So that also means you need to get the boss keys as an adult for the adult dungeons.
Okay, I'm just going through my notes here. I'm seeing nothing about crossovers or spins or shock arrows or... Right, multiple abbreviations of DDR. My apologies.
And yes, get your obligatory DDR emotes that I think you can find them in the OTR Discord for sure. Oh. Looks like we are nearly ready to go. We're just currently waiting. I know one of our runners was having tech issues, and so is currently just getting the last little bit finalized. And yes, weird shots are allowed. Here we go.
There is so much I'm going to be learning that 4 buttons are not going to be enough to help here, so this is going to be interesting for me. I am entering this call. I'm someone who has called standard races before for EU and NA weeklies. I've called occasional Freaky Fridays, where sometimes the runners deal with this rule set, and it just always confuses me whenever I see stuff. Well, here I am getting my proper crash course.
Yep. So yeah, so we'll see probably some nice fun things today. Egg and Dotso are both very experienced runners, and also tend to be on the more glitch heavy side. One important thing to note is that DDR is like a looser rule set than standard. So everything that is allowed in standard is allowed in DDR. So you are able to, technically you could play DDR and to the seat 100% standard, or you could add things in as you feel comfortable doing them. Part of the goal for the settings is that they use glitchless logic, and so you are never going to be required to do any of the glitches you see here. It's just kind of as you feel comfortable and as you want to, you can add the glitches there. So we see both these two runners are tend to be more on the glitch heavy side, but we do emphasize once again, not necessary. That's just up to you how you feel like playing.
So far, we seem to have a traditional opening. You either go to the Kokiri sword chest first or Mido's, and in this case, Mido's being a cheapstake.
Yeah. Apparently left an IOU for the sword that wasn't there. To note also for our goals for this, so kind of we're in the middle of testing stuff for Season 2 of DDR. We had Season 1 a little bit ago. And currently they're kind of two versions that are kind of floating around, and we're going between them, possibly combining different aspects to see what people like. The ones you're seeing here is that the settings you see here, it involves 3 dungeon rewards in order to open the bridge, the Rainbow Bridge, and then there are going to be 6 medallions in order to get Ganon's boss cube. However, to compensate for this, there are strong / very strong, I think technically they're strong hints that are active here that also removes that removes strengths from being hinted. So it's still required but not hinted.
I thought I just saw some decent items in Mido's house. A bow and bomb shoes.
Yeah, bow and bomb shoes are definitely a good start. I don't think Egg has marked anything. Let's see.
Egg has just marked, Egg hasn't marked it on their tracker yet, but they both went into Mido's house, so...
They should have both the same. Yeah, they both have exactly the same. Good. Phew, was worried there a second. Because I didn't see Egg pick up the thing, so I'm like, did someone accidentally install the wrong seed? We're good.
And now, I'm seeing something that we have the infinite stick glitch, apparently.
Yep, so one of the most infamous and overall useful glitches you'll see a little bit all over the place is the infinite sword or infinite stick glitch. So here, what it's doing is that you are doing a crouch jab, and then you're interrupting that on a certain frame, and the game considers you to be stabbing on every single frame. Very practical in this case in order to farm Deku sticks without breaking the Deku stick you currently have, and it's really good just for fights.
And of course, apparently some things never change. One of the hints, water is wet.
This does check out. I can confirm that water is wet.
And for those that don't know what I mean, Kakariko Village is often... It's extremely rare to Kakariko Village not to have anything, so that's why I have adopted the moniker that water is wet whenever that hint shows up.
Yep. It shows up a bit less if you're... some of the other settings, they have variable medallions, so it's like... so you may not need to complete all of the medallions. In this particular case, since we do need all of them, our way of the heroes are going to be pretty straightforward to figure out. We don't know what they are yet. Neither of our runners have gone to the... Actually, have gone anywhere near Temple of Time, so we won't see that for a little bit, for sure. Kakariko Foolish? How?
That is a miracle, Tobias. Anyway, Slingshot Room. We have a small chest and a big chest. Size of chest matters not, it's the contents we care about. Of course, we have to actually open the chest in order to gain those contents.
And then it's kind of nice that they get some decent money just after getting a wallet to hold more of it. So it is nice at least that they'll have the space for it. Perfect. And we see Dotso going for another... He's going for the ISG here. I'm not sure if it's clearly enough to do that, so he might be going for some of the fancier strats to break the web.
I think we need to worry about the compass room checks first before we go down the web, so I'm not seeing any obvious setups yet. Maybe
it was just an extra precaution for the skulls. I also do appreciate that Dotso, if you're not familiar with the vanilla game, you might be wondering why Dotso did a side hop there. That's to skip the Navi text box that normally pops up. That is not a thing you need to do in Rando, but it's the easy way to tell if someone does more vanilla bingo or vanilla OOT. If they do a side hop like that there, they're definitely more used to vanilla game. I know we do not have choose in logic. So choose are normally considered like choose are.
But are not going to say no to choose.
Yeah, I mean, beggars can't be choosers, is what we're saying. But
okay,
also,
that's a good one.
But also to note that a lot of tricks use explosives, like a lot, and so having explosives is especially nice in DDR. And then in terms of do you prefer choose or bombs, that's kind of a personal preference in terms of what kind of tricks you're using. Typically, bombs are more versatile, so you like to have bombs, but...
Okay, someone's going to be a stick in the mud today.
Yeah, usually that's Shiro's job.
And, that's not the traditional setup I know of, but hey, if it works, it works, so...
Yep, it's a very Dotso setup.
Oh. Yep, you do have... How did that nut bounce like that?
What? I don't know. I don't get it. Oh, it's probably just that it hit as Dato was like drawing the shield, and so technically it wasn't in front of him quite yet, if I had to guess.
There is still a lot to learn about this game.
Hashtag just OOT things?
Didn't know there was a dedicated hashtag, but sure. Anyway, attempting to make our stick infinitely powered yet again, but I can't tell if we messed up the... No, okay, we're fine. Goma goes down without a problem.
And we see they're basically back on track. Dotso had a little bit more trouble with the scrubs, but he also had a cleaner fight. So they're almost neck and neck again. The nice thing there for the ISG, it's more of a safety thing. You can get the one cycle even without infinite sword glitch, but it just helps guarantee it, basically. Also, on behalf of Axe, duties.
Well, at the very least, our runners will have extra defense throughout, but hopefully this doesn't cause any problems for Darklink if we have to go to Water Temple today.
Yeah, thankfully, I don't think that the double defense affects Darklink. Thankfully, at least. But it can affect there's like one instance that sometimes you want a Death Warp, and it can be annoying in those cases, but... Datsu do Child Shadow, please, okay, thanks.
Anyway, we have a minor divergence. Datsu is at least gaining additional information. And we don't need 40, so that's nice.
And always good to know you don't need those big skull rewards. So it's nice getting that very early. See Datsu go opting to clear out the Lost Woods, which, honestly, with a number of rupees is a good play, because you can definitely get this scrub here.
Shadow Pot has nothing. And Bridge Scrub, not worth it.
We'll see if Egg's going to go for the 3-song opener, or if he's just going straight adult. Maybe he's buying a shield. We don't know. We don't judge. He's buying a shield.
Don't judge. I can't speak for the rest of chat.
I mean, I don't judge. Are you hashtag team buy a shield, hashtag team never buy a shield, or hashtag team buy a shield, I guess, if it's, like, convenient, but, like, don't go out of your way for it, I guess. If it's, like, right there, and it's, like, you're passing by the shop, and you have enough rupees, then I guess you can pick it up, but, like, you know, I wouldn't farm for it, and I'll probably forget anyway, so it's fine. The most succinct of team names, of course.
I am team buy a shield responsibly.
We've got some mixtures here of buy versus find.
Alright, target, shooting gallery. That's a pain.
Very nice paperweight there. Very useful for being there.
Alright, hints, ice cavern.
So, wall kicks. So DDR is not Dance Dance Revolution or Dungeons and Dragons. This is it's a glitched rule set for Randomizer that bans some of the most powerful glitches in the game while allowing a lot of quality of life stuff. So you want the full description, you can check out the link here.
And, okay, I did not see all the hints that came up on Egg's side, but apparently Temple of Time may have been foolish. And then I saw Ice Cavern is Way the Hero, but I missed the other two.
Ice Cavern foolish, thanks. I mean...
No, Ice Cavern Way the Hero, Temple of Time foolish.
Temple of Time foolish, thanks. That's saving us one check there. Oof. Oof.
Well, what about the other medallions? Let's at least get that... Or... Wait, what are the other medallions? Egg? Why are you not checking for us?
Did Egg not check? Of course Egg wouldn't.
Egg checked the stones.
I mean, to be fair, if you need all 6, basically you just need to know which ones you don't have to do. So, that's fair.
And in the meantime, Dotso is actually doing the child chicken play early.
Also a good indicator of if you're a bingo player.
Unfortunately, missed that jump up there, so... And let's... 50 was allegedly Lens of Truth. And, and apparently the Kuko checks are rare in this rule set, if Tobias has any indication, but... Look, I don't normally call these, so I don't know what's considered normal anymore.
You know, the DDR community tends to be pretty small, so it's really difficult to divine what is normal when there's, like, only a handful of regular players and, you know, a dozen, some more irregular players.
Also,
so we'll go with it's normal-ish.
Yeah. All right. Also, we have ice arrows in the Redead Grotto. So that's already... What? We've already found, what, 3 mimetic items here?
Yeah, we found some nice, unique items. Not useful. Ooh, Dotso, you gonna do it? You doing it? You doing it? Yeah. Ooh, nice setup there. Dotso doing one of the acceptable ways of getting to bottom of the well, where you do a Navi dive. So what happens is that when you do, like, a jump attack, right afterwards, their Link's animation will take a step backwards. So what he did there is he had it set up so that after he took the step backwards, he called Navi. And during the cutscene of calling Navi, you just ignore all water physics. And then while I was doing that, he did blank A. That was a really fast blank A setup. So the other glitch he did there...
That was the Waterfront Chest, correct?
Yes, the Waterfront Chest.
Thank
and no, you're not normally supposed to just sink through water there. What Dotso did is that it's a 1.0 exclusive glitch. If you enter a crawl space and throw a detonate at the same time to interrupt it, it gives you the properties of going into the crawl space, and that lets you ignore some collision. You can see it's called blank A. It's one of the few real name glitches because the A is blank.
Windmill was Song of Storms.
Oh, so vanilla?
Yeah.
Nice. And so you'll see him again right here, going straight through the water, and then just being able to open up the chest right there.
That is water side. And shield chest in the grave, well, didn't have a shield.
And every second that goes by that they don't find a shield is another second they're glad they bought it.
Graveyard box has nothing?
Was it Akashika? Was it nuts in the sense that it was insane, or was it nuts in the sense that it was, like, you know, literally Deku nuts? Because it could be either, you know? I doubt it could be both. Oh, I was hoping it was, like, super awesome.
Okay, front bomb.
Ooh, nice magic. We are not going to have a Muggle mode seed today. Magic tends to be one of those things that in DDR it tends to be the last item you find, just because you skip a lot of checks and you don't need it for that much. But we will not be having a Muggle mode seed today, so that's very nice. Ooh. 51 seconds for Dompe timing. I'm not sure how that compares to most standard players. It's pretty good for me, so I'll take it. Nice money.
Now, where's the Giant's wallet for when we need it?
Giant's wallet would be super nice for all this money we're finding. Ooh, that's hovers? That was hovers, 100%.
That is hovers.
Beautiful. Hover boots are one of those items that are fantastic in DDR for exactly 0 of the reasons that they are supposed to be. So in the vanilla game, you're supposed to use hovers in like 2 spots in Shadow Temple. In DDR, we'll use them there, but we can skip those usages of hover boots. The main benefit is a bunch of unintended stuff.
Wow. Andrew, as an adult, has a boomerang, and the cow had a bottle as well.
Boomerang's good. We do need boomerang. That is one of the items that are required. Since we don't know exactly which of the medallions are which, but we know that Jabu is one of those medallions. So We are going to need the boomerang. We are also going to need the hammer. These are guaranteed items we need. And then we will also need a... will we need a hook shot? Yes, we'll need a hook shot because we need to do water.
Alright, adult archery has nothing. Windmill, I don't think had anything. So at this point, Kakariko, it's only skulls from here on, if I've counted correctly.
And we definitely know, for the Way of the Hero, we know that Boomerang is Way of the Hero for sure. So, that qualifies right there. And you don't say no to that. It'd be nice to find even more in CAC, but we don't say no to a Rang.
Let's see. Light arrows were found in Kakariko. Obviously, I don't want to make any presumptions, but I am presuming that light arrows do not count as Way of the Hero in this rule set, correct?
I think in general, as long as you have the Ganondorf hint for light arrows, they don't count. Is I think how it works just in general.
Okay.
Now someone who knows more might be able to clarify if that's actually the case, but...
Then yeah, unless there's something on one of the Skulltula checks, it is that boomerang.
Mm-hmm. Bare minimum, you will always full clear your or you should full clear your way of the hero just in case. But yeah, you're definitely happy at finding at least that.
And stick upgrade in Dodongo's Cavern.
Oh,
and we have all 3 small keys of Bottom of the Well, not that they are really helpful at this point.
Nope, no dungeon skulls in these settings, so, eh. The other nice thing for Egg is going through this dungeon is always going to be at least beneficial for him, since we know that we don't know which one it is, but it is a medallion. So he's going to need to complete this dungeon at some point. Might as well do it now. The only thing that can really make it faster, I think, is bombs. Unless you're doing, like, really funky stuff.
I'll give you the funky stuff right there.
Ooh, nice. Do we? I think we got a... What do you call it? You're not ledge clip. Vine clip. From Natsu, I think?
It was some type of clip.
Yeah, I think he did it from the Bomb 2 chest. So what he did there is Child Link's animation as he's climbing up vines is jank. And there's one frame that you're partially clipped out of bounds when you try climbing as Child. And if you take damage on that specific frame as you re-grab, you then get pushed fully out of bounds. So that lets you just kind of completely skip around and keep needing to lower the water. So you notice that Dotso doesn't have Zelda's Lullaby and it's completely full cleared it. So one of the examples of glitches that like help you get to more checks faster.
And for doing that, Dotso is a fool. I admit I missed the ice traps.
Ice traps are indeed pretty fun. They are not hidden as major items though, so they won't ever be giant chippy. And also probably worth reminding that though Dotso did a bunch of glitches in order to do all that stuff, logically you are guaranteed to be able to find Zelda's Lullaby and be able to do it normally. So Dotso just chose to do it this way, but you are perfectly able and expected to do it without.
Considering that we did find Song of Storms, everything was in logic except for the dead hand checks, so it checks out, I guess.
Yeah, and some of the underwater ones, I guess, because technically I don't think we have Zelda's Lullaby yet, but we also haven't done 3 songs for him.
And Ocarina of Time is Minuet today.
So that is going to be useless for us. We do also, to note, have Mido Skip in Logic, so that is not logically required in order to get to the Forest Temple. So
Mido Skip is an allowed and expected trick in this rule set.
Specifically in these settings. That's not a general for the rule set. It is specifically for these settings. We have that trick enabled in Logic.
Well, I guess I'm going to be part of the I'm never playing DDR club. That is such a strange sentence for me to say.
It's you are always allowed to do it. It's just in particular we have that trick enabled in Logic. So yeah, you're able to do the by Mido skip. We mean the one in Lost Woods where you just jump over Mido.
And all right, where is Dotso going?
Ooh, did Egg have a VC crash?
There was something had taken place. I didn't want to bring it up, but we ended up having a no signal thing temporarily.
It's early enough that hopefully Egg had saved in. If he saved in DC, it wouldn't be too bad. Hopefully he did, because or else that hurts.
I've heard of someone else having some sort of alleged VC crash, but I don't know what it means in this case. Also, saved right after entering Dodongo's cavern, so we haven't missed too much. Just a scale.
That's not too bad then. It is annoying because I think Egg knows the trick in order to defeat King Dodongo with Choose. So theoretically he could beat it right away, but at least he knows that which checks he'll be able to skip. So
also, a big pose is an ice trap. But what is this VC crash exactly?
So it's just VC being a bad emulator, and so occasionally it'll just crash. It's not specific to DDR. I don't know if there's anything specific in DDR that makes it more likely or less likely to happen. But yeah, it's just how will happen occasionally that VC will decide that it doesn't want to emulate anymore. Thankfully, it's quite rare that it happens. And yeah, VC being the Wii Virtual Console. So if you're playing on like emulator or on EverDrive, you don't have that particular issue for crashing. It's specific to the VC.
Okay. 50 is Lens of Truth. Ice Cavern is Way of the Hero. Final treasure of Ice Cavern is a rupee, so it's not the Wolfos check. Also, Spirit is foolish.
Oh wow, Foolish Spirit is also pretty nice. Foolish Spirit with it being a stone is like chef's kiss. That's a really nice combo. And yes, we did also see Egg. He does have Choose, so he could just blow up the wall in Death Mountain Trail, but he wanted to keep it with explosives. So what he did there is he did a setup in order to clip behind the wall and just skip having to use an explosive. We'll see. Is Dotso actually going to... No, I mean, Dotso's going pretty fast. So if you want to pause and refresh and look back at what all of that said, we know what the dungeons are. We'll see if our trackers caught it. Our trackers being superhumans who have the ability to, like, see and pay attention. Something I lack. Mostly the pay attention part. It looks like Dot's doing cat, or what are you called?
You can call this the Boulder Grotto, Castle Grotto, the
Hyrule Field.
I missed what that hint was. Sorry, Dotso went a little fast there, but we'll take a strength.
Sure, we'll take it. Oh, and Egg meanwhile is doing pot push across here because of course he is. I don't know exactly how this trick works. I just know it involves the pot pushing you a little bit further than you normally would.
And thank you for giving us that, Dotso. Thank you.
Thanks, Dotso. Dotso being a bro. Are there always some new patches for Wii U VC? I'm not sure actually. I know that typically it's not very much used, so I couldn't really tell you. Dotso, we'll see if Dotso is opting to go just for River or if he's going to like Zora's Domain or Ice Cavern. Because we do know that there's something good in Ice Cavern. And technically he can access it now. Oh, Egg going for Pop-Push.
Let's see. Hover Boots gets in. King Zora skip to my knowledge is still allowed. I mean, when we have a bottle. So
yeah, I don't know if Dotso has a bottle. Dotso doesn't need it for sure, but I know that Egg does have a bottle, but I don't know if Dotso has collected that one.
But how would you deal with Ice Cavern without a bottle?
Glitches. We'll see which ones he ends up using. But yeah, most of the time, most of the things he'll be able to clip through using explosives. Bombs be real good. Ooh, we have the hero GTG. Yeah, my guess is he will opt to go do it now. It's definitely slower with the explosives than you may want.
Frozen Caverns, Prelude of Light.
You're gonna need to go back to Child, so not bad. I guess you can take it.
So that already gives us, a number of. We ended up with 3 pieces of knowledge about Ice Cavern alone, which feels strange. Also, Big Ron has nothing.
Well, he doesn't have nothing. He's got a blue rupee, which is clearly worth it, right? I'm sure we'll go rush that check right away.
Your sense of sarcasm is showing. But, I mean, Ice Cavern Way of the Hero, final reward is nothing important, and the song reward is mentioned. It's like, how often does the Way of a Hero get 3 hints like that?
Yeah, it's definitely, it's almost unfortunate because, like, I mean, you're going there, it's got a Way of a Hero. So getting the extra hints is like, oh, nice clip. So getting the hint for it is a little bit overkill, but is he going to the... Looks like he's going to the Lost Woods instead. Either that or he's just doing this setup in order to go there. Medic, you can do it. Yeah.
No, or maybe Dotso wants the song first. I mean, is there a way to actually get to the entrance to Forest Temple without hookshot?
Yes, but not in DDR. So in No Arm Armor, you can do some bomb hovering to get there. But in DDR, bomb hovering is not allowed because it allows you to skip so many hookshot things. Wow, a nice hammer. That is one of the necessary things. So in DDR, you are required to have the hookshot to get to Forest Temple.
And I mean that is a fair point. That is a bomb-locked hammer.
Yeah, because we did get it out of logic with our choose, but logically, you do need to have bombs for that.
So, will we find a bomb bag? Or will we even need a bomb bag?
Real bomb bags were the friends we made along the way. I mean, wait.
That sounds like a dud.
ZSR would like to remind you not to store bombs in your friends.
And there's our second water is wet.
Yes, we do have duplicates of all of the different hints, so you can things. So just in case you missed the first one, you can have a chance to find the second one.
Also, I thought that said Frogs 2 had an ice trap. Also, Meadow has Zelda's Lullaby.
Nice. That is... so now we know that the things that Dotso did in Bottom of the Well are actually in logic. Zoom. Oh, nice. Dotso did the zoom.
Okay, that's impressive. Is that trick allowed in the standard rule set?
I know it was brought up, and I forget what was decided, but someone brought it up ages ago. You'd have to check the race mod channel. But yes, well, what's happening there is you're just... Technically, it's not really a glitch. You're just putting on the hover boots and just preserving the momentum of the moblin, so... And also, this is very important. It's hilarious, so clearly it should be allowed, right?
And Bolero Fire is vanilla.
Wadge, indeed.
That's what the hint said on Dotso's side.
So we already know what Egg's about to get when he gets this trick.
Yeah, sorry for ruining the suspense.
And he might be going for fire, you know.
Right now, I'm a little bit concerned about how much time Egg is spending on this trick. Now,
Yeah, Egg...
I know everyone has a set of tolerance time for doing some of these tricks, but I am concerned that this is becoming sunk cost fallacy here.
Yeah, and this is where I was about to bring up that just because you can do glitches doesn't necessarily mean that it will be beneficial. A lot of these glitches you'll see are quite difficult, and you can easily end up in situations like Egg, where take a couple tries in order to get them, or sometimes just not even get them at all. And then it ends up being that it could be faster just to have done it normally. So, not only are you not going to be required to do glitches in DDR, just because it's glitchless plotting, sometimes it may not even be helpful. We very frequently have times where like standard players just route better than glitch-heavy players in DDR, and so we'll finish faster.
Also, we found a fourth way of the hero, Zora's Domain. Does DDR happen to include a fifth way of the hero location?
This particular setting is using the settings for this. I forget if it's using a fixed distribution. It's using strong/very strong. I forget which one. So I'm not sure. We'll see.
Fair.
Yeah, and it may also not be fixed, so that can make a difference as well. So it is specifically designed to be a very strong distribution /strong in order to help combat the fact that you need the 6 medallions. So we'll see.
Bow at OGC.
Thanks, game. We'll definitely take that one instead of the bow that's in Mito's house.
Well, Strength 3 may not be required after all.
Yeah. In DDR, we could skip the Strength 3 requirement anyway, but I very much doubt anyone will bother. for 10 extra arrows that you're probably never going to use.
Alright, so what does logically require bean or hover boots to... Because that smoke is interfering with my vision.
I feel like, the big Goron with smoke in my eyes.
Don't forget your eye drops if you need them, folks.
Mm.
And because we have Zelda's Lullaby, we have access to the Great Fairies.
And they're like, okay. They're like 6 out of 10 fairies.
We didn't have a full wallet, so that helps. Also, welcome everyone from ZeldaSpeedRuns 2. Hope your race went well. We are in an Ocarina of Time randomizer race using the DDR rule set. Dance mats not required.
But yeah, if you happen to be new to the channel, welcome, Raiders. And DDR is a glitch rule set that is specifically designed for randomizer that allows for a lot of quality of life glitches while banning some of those powerful glitches in the game. So some examples of things you will not see. You will not see bomb hovering. You will not see item manipulation. You will not see wrong warping. You can check out, if you're interested, the link here, which will have the full list of what is and is not, or more accurately, what isn't allowed. In addition, they will need to enter dungeons more or less the intended way, and they will need to enter boss runes by standing in front of the boss door and pressing A. A quick pull is not allowed. Well, who is winning? At this point, it's difficult to say because we're still very early on, so they need more item requirements. Currently, Dotso is better equipped. So at this point, he's winning in the sense that he has more of the items that are needed at the end. But it only matters once they find all of the items. Speaking of all the items, since we now have we know what is which, we have our fourth medallion is Jabu, so that is going to need the boomerang as well as a bottle. Water is the fire medallion, so that is going to need hook shot, as well as it either requires the long shot or the hover boots. Dodongo's Cavern is the water medallion, which, I mean, it's basically free as long as you have any kind of explosive. Fire is the spirit medallion, which is going to require the hammer. And then Shadow is the shadow medallion, and that is going to require us to have some way of getting in. These two cases, that's really not a big issue. And is going to require them to have Zelda's Lullaby. Oh, and Deku is Deku. It's basically free. And hopefully your guys, how did the Wind Waker randomizer go? Hopefully it went well.
Yeah, we may not have any sort of barrier skip shenanigans, but I think our two runners, Dotso and Eggmeister, will show you enough of a good time when walls become suggestions in our own way.
Mm-hmm. It's very much a game where, or a rule set where walls are suggestions. And don't forget, for those who are just arriving or who didn't notice, our lovely restreamer did open up a gamble. So if you want to bet on who will win this race between the two on restream, so which of the two will finish first on this restream, you can go ahead. We have Dotso and Egg, both very experienced DDR runners and both very experienced glitch users. Currently, we have Dotso is a little bit better equipped, but that does not mean very much at the end of the game. So. We do also know Dotso has strength as well when he's coming here, so he will definitely, assuming he doesn't VC crash. Fortunately, Egg was here earlier, and we think he VC crashed in DC. So assuming that doesn't happen, Dotso should be able to finish the full clear of the dungeon.
Also, I could not tell what that... I could tell that was a foolish hint on Egg's side, but I couldn't tell the exact location. It was either Death Mountain Trail or Death Mountain Crater.
I think if we found anything useful in either, because I don't think so, to be honest. Cool. On Egg's side here, we see him doing a clip. Doesn't have... Actually, I think he does have scale, so one of the two has a scale and could just dive to this.
The scale was found in Dodongo's Cavern, and Egg lost it on the reset.
Then yeah, so he technically was not... didn't need to do the clip there. But the clip's pretty fast, so... You know, I also have Dotso making good use of those hover boots. Just makes a lot of the movement a lot better in this... Oh, there it is! Speaking of which, a lot better in the dungeon, so...
And, ooh, that was a little bit of a time limit to get that bomb jump, but hey, it works.
It works. The confidence is, you know... I would not be confident enough to even try that. Free shield.
Now,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I want to say that the crash happened shortly after this point. Basically, what happened here was where Dotso is, Eggmeister opened up the eyes to the back of the cavern and then checked the hint stone. I think it happened around there. So hopefully, well, Dotso doesn't repeat that.
Yeah, hopefully, it's just a VC crash and not something worse. Oh, is DMT foolish? Okay. Think twice. So we know that DMT is foolish.
And after we cleared out most of them anyway. Also, wait. Where was the box?
So what Datsa did there is if you call Navi on the same frame you land on the switch, it keeps the switch pressed down for longer than it's supposed to be, which gives you enough time to go and just go there. Note, that is like very, very marginally faster in Rando because like there's fast box pushing. I don't even bother for it. We also saw on Egg side, if you're wondering why the red ice just magically disappeared, short answer is because OT. But the longer answer is that Egg moved in a particular way in order to load King's or talk to the sign before having loaded King Zora, and it glitches out because of reasons I don't know, and it results in when you reload him, the red ice not being loaded in. So that's what we did there. It's a very, very nice, convenient glitch, as well as literally the easiest clip in the game. If you're looking to learn a clip, I would recommend the King Zora skip as an adult. It is exactly as easy as it looks. You just target a wall, move a little bit over, and jump slash into a corner, and you clip through the wall. It's hilariously trivial, and we're amazed that the OT devs didn't find it.
Also, Lost Woods is our final way of the hero.
For that hammer, which is very good.
But this also means the Zora's Domain way of the hero is child-locked.
Interesting. This is going to be one of the ones there. Either the diving or the lighting the torches.
Of course, considering what I've been seeing so far, it could very well be that it's not even needed.
Yeah, there are definitely items that are not needed that technically could be Way of the Hero. There are some of them that are removed from the Way of the Hero.
Hey,
what are you doing? Oh, you're just peeking it? Because, like, I mean, you can't actually grab it.
And it's a heart container. I was like, how does a lightweight ocarina become heavier than a sack of potatoes?
It's using the true heaviest thing in this game, cutscenes. Everyone knows that cutscenes weigh more than Iron Boots and Ganondorf combined.
But if cutscenes weigh more, then how come the cutscene allows you to actually move faster when playing Twilight Princess's ending?
It's because the cutscenes are patched in that game. They work a little differently than this game.
I knew something was off.
Nom nom nom, eating all of those. Yeah. Who needs inputs?
Anyway, Eggmeister is in Ice Cavern, has a bottle, doesn't care.
Yeah. We'll be using it for some of the others, but yeah. Just jump slashes through that one red ice.
Well, I mean, this is the place to check, considering that, you know, there are 2 item checks here, and then the other location in Ice Cavern has just 1. We know the Iron Boots chest has nothing important, so it's either the compass chest or the map chest.
Oh, also, fun fact on that front, Akashika. It seems like possibly... nice. It seems like possibly the... whichever dev was working on Fire Temple might have known that acute angles cause you to clip, because basically in every single acute angle in the Fire Temple, they've specifically handled the collision such that they block off that acute angle. So kind of we think that potentially whichever dead worked on Fire Temple knew that it could happen.
Also, yeah, French vanilla iron boots and 1 check to go, so we are soon going to attempt to piece together the logic of this scene. Oh, come on, Case, do you have to get in the way?
Oh, Joe, such a dick! They pushed him off, too. Not freezing wasn't enough for you, you also had to waste even more time. And yeah, well, it is likely that those iron boots are technically Way of the Hero, since you can't do, like, anything in water without them. These runners won't really need it, other than one very, very specific situation. And even then, I think technically they can also skip it. But they're nice, I guess. Oh, get your guesses in for Dotso. I'm going with 49.
50. And oh, Din's Fire.
Din's Fire also logically required, since we need it for Shadow, so.
Can the way the seed is constructed, both of them cannot be the Way of the Hero, even though both of them are kind of obviously needed for medallions, so how do you choose which one?
They're both technically logically required, so whichever one that the seed decided was the one it picked. We thank it for being a generous god. Technically, both of them are Way of the Hero, so maybe it was both.
Also, we were both off. It was 52.
I think Tobias was closest.
I was just saying between the two of us, Dobby.
Oh yeah, because clearly, I mean, those are the two most important ones. I mean, of course. I'm just kidding. You love your chat.
And what is Egg trying to... Reversing into... Well, that's a rude way to greet someone, Wolfos.
I mean, to be fair, we just broke into like his back door. So, fair. Kind of be a little on edge.
Yeah. So in this case, this check is primarily for the Prelude of Light. But, you know, it can come in handy.
Yeah, we don't say no. And does allow you to go through the rest of it backwards, if you do care about it. To note, that actually requires iron boots, so it's something that's completely useless in... wow, that was really fast. It's completely useless in the base game, but it's nice here if you have to have iron boots. Meanwhile, if you're wondering how Dotso just suddenly magically created fire, that's a glitch, a 1.0 exclusive glitch, typically called empty jump flash, where you, in successive frames, as you're walking off of a ledge with your sword pulled out, you press A, then or you hold down, press A, and then press B. What happens is you put away the sword, and then you do a jump slash as you walking off the ledge, and it causes you to do a jump slash with nothing in your hands. This gives you a glitched damage value. That in one of the values that is included as part of this is Din's Fire. So you can then use a crouch stab, and it has many properties. Most notable of which is that it lets you light torches. So it's pretty cool.
Also, Tobias, we do care. I was just specifically comparing myself against Dobby on that specific instance. You are important. That is not going to be enough buttering up, is it?
No, I think we're still in trouble. But I think we're fine, right? We'll just keep talking and pretend Tobias doesn't have the power to put us in pun jail. Ooh, nice tunic, though, for the Goron tunic.
Yeah, it does make sense to spend the rupees. We're not going to need them for much else.
Might as well. We don't even have bombs to buy. We'll see. Egg is currently doing a Child 2. I'm not sure in your front if you would want to do Child Zora's Domain at the same time as this.
Well, it's a Way of the Hero, so knock it out.
Yeah, why not, right?
But Dotso going for Fire Temple... This also makes sense. We have a hammer, and we have hover boots, so Really, we can just go to town.
It is technically has 3 explosives. Is a little bit iffy, but technically you should be able to go through the whole thing.
Also, we have the cutscene.
Yes. So oh, go ahead. You can finish the question first.
I know Forest Temple, the Poe cutscene, can be utilized because of a fish in a bottle for whatever reason. How is it beneficial for Fire Temple?
So in DDR, it isn't. There isn't really use for this particular cutscene. In No I Am Wrong Warp, though, what you can do is you can use that cutscene to trigger a hookshot jump that it goes super high up and allows you to skip the boss key. But since boss keys are not allowed in DDR, in that particular usage isn't that helpful. However, those two kind of intrinsically go together, the cutscene in Forest and this cutscene. So we're kind of stuck with having the Darunia cutscene since we won't really want the one in Forest.
Gotcha. Also, Hyrule Castle Great Fairy has a slingshot. So, something to keep in mind, I don't think any of our runners have done target in the woods yet, so that could still be a way of the hero.
Yeah, well, we'll see. So, so far the Great Fairies are kind of looking mediocre at best, but if something good ends up being in Lost Woods, they might get upgraded to at least good fairies. I mean, Great Fairies would be directly giving you the item, but indirectly is kind of good, right?
As long as they're better than the ones in Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition, then I'll take it.
Meaning when they don't have a hitbox the size of a cathedral?
And they don't take double damage, it feels like, every few rip moments?
Probably giant hitbox.
Ugh.
We'll see. Egg about to skip the... we do have the child stealth skip, so we'll be going directly here. And we'll get the child songs. We know that Zelda's Lullaby is not one of them. Because we... Oh, actually, so does Egg, because Egg has Zelda's Lullaby. But they're still pretty good for movement, so not bad at all.
We did get a Pona song, so that will give us access to GTG and identify its way of the hero.
Oh yeah, that's true. I forgot that is indeed a way of the hero, so that's pretty good. And Egg, I think at this point, doesn't really have access to GTG. Dotso, I think, technically does. Though with his bomb shoot count, it's a little bit risky.
Epona's lets us get into GTG, we just have to be very careful not to get caught by the guards, that's all.
Yeah. Now with Epona's song, can get there easily, for sure. And we'll see. I think he might be raid. Akashika might decide to do well, and we kind of hope he does because we know that there are hover boots in there. There's something else in there as well that was like decent, but the main thing is the hover boots.
Magic was also there.
Magic, that's the one, you were correct. Which magic is good, and hover boots are good too. So. Also, I'd just like to mention, just in case someone doesn't know, but if you're doing this tricky minigame and you don't remember which ones you've picked up, the ones that you've picked up will have a target indicator on top of them. So you can see the one that's got the green means you've picked it up already. So you don't have to try it again. This is getting very risky in terms of timing, though. You can do it, Egg. Do it.
Oh, nice. Last second buzzer beater. And it was a scam.
Wow. Just not even a full refund. Or I guess I think it says it might only cost 5, so it might have been a full refund.
I thought it was 10.
Maybe 10. I very rarely have too few rupees for it to matter, so I just click yes and then eat the losses. It inevitably ends up sucking.
Okay, Sun Song. So at the very least, Eggmeister can also clear out the rest of Graveyard if we need to do that.
Just good. So Dotso looks like he's going to be setting up. There's a normal way you do this particular trick. Actually, never mind. He's just doing the jump. He's jumping up. Never mind. Is he? What are you doing? Are you doing a ledge clip? You can ledge clip this?
And what benefit?
He's probably trying to clip into the section down here. If you see where the Goron is, you can clip into that section in a couple of different ways. The usual way you do it is by using a bomb, but does not have a bomb, and the Chew version is slightly different. So looks like he's setting up here for like a glitchless jump to get on top of this, and then doing a ledge clip to get inside the block. But what he's doing afterwards, sure.
Okay,
Oh, he's just doing it normally.
Yeah, this is something we talked about earlier. How much time do you want to spend on the tricks you are not so good at versus, okay, just do the tricks you know you can do and move on?
Yeah. And a lot of times, I mean, even if Dotso, I'm sure, knows all of these tricks, he's made setup videos for most of them. But a lot of times, you know, if it's just not working properly in a given day, because you know, these things are tricky, and once it goes wrong once, it will tend to go wrong again and again. At some point, you can just do it normally. It's fine. As we mentioned a couple times, all the glitches you see here are optional. It's glitchless logic, so it is expecting you to do this without any glitches whatsoever. Dotso clearly just really loves those balls, you know, just runs right into them.
The way I would have put it, but sure.
I'm not sure how else you could put it, because this is objectively the best way. It's the funniest, for sure.
You could have just said that Dotso was trying to be a little bolder.
Oh, ooh, chef's kiss. That's a good one.
Okay, now Tobias definitely hates us.
Tobias getting the ban hammer ready.
And that's a vanilla slingshot. Come on.
Nice. I mean, technically, we don't know necessarily if it's vanilla, because it could have been the 50 instead of the 40, you know? There's no way to tell.
You needed a slingshot for the slingshot. It's vanilla. So,
yeah, that pun did rock. That is fair.
Anyway, memory game. Nothing important.
Looks like Egg is going to check the Saria song, which is nice. I mean, definitely worth grabbing while you're here. And Dotso, as a reminder for the dungeons, he does need to find the boss key. So if it ends up being at Pierre, which he's really hoping it's not, that requires hookshot. So,
just so it's clear, the only remaining check in logic, I should say, provided I've tracked everything correctly on my end, is this bombable check right here, the one that Dotso tried to ledge clip to earlier.
this one technically I don't think is in logic because we don't have a bomb bag. And I think likewise, I think the hammer check isn't in logic because I think that one almost certainly requires a bomb bag. But fire temple logic, so wibbly wobbly.
Well, we needed that check for the small key, so we have everything. The only pieces we're missing are, you know. Oh, sorry, I was focused on my explanation that I missed what song Egg just got.
Requiem, I think. Yeah, Requiem. Which
That'll come in handy.
That'll be super kind of handy to go visit Baron Spirit.
Hey, we may need to go there for the boss key.
For Spirit, we might need it for like the Colossus area, maybe. There's like 2 checks. 3 if you count Wasteland, because that's probably going to be the most convenient way to get there.
Also, happy 1 hour mark, everyone.
Happy 1 hour. Take this opportunity to thank our... Excuse me?
Single letter.
Oh, right. It's just he. To thank our tractors, our trackers, our trackers.
Excuse me, they are not vehicles.
That may or may not be tractors. We don't judge. Maybe you guys are farm equipment. We don't. We're not judgmental on that front. Or at least I'm not, apparently. But the bare minimum, they are our trackers, keeping track of everything that's going on in the seed. So that way we can spend our time making dumb jokes. So this is clearly what our job is. On that front, I'll also like to thank my co-commentator that I have here, Wolfman2000, joining me for this DDR restream. Of course, we have our two runners that we have, Dotso and Egg, that you should definitely give a follow. Both of them do lots, especially if you're a fan of glitched OTR stuff. They both do lots of that all the time. And yeah, if you can also follow our restreamer, who is also Tobias, so helping out not only to track, but also on the back end for setting up the various technical things, is I think the term for it. It's also probably a good time to remind you guys that this is the DDR Restream Weekly, or the DDR Monthly Restream of the DDR Weekly Race. So this takes place every Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. So I forget what it is. I think it's like 5 p.m. CET, something like that. So if you are interested at all in joining us, we encourage you to go check out the DDR discussion channel in the Discord, which is linked right there. And yeah, if you are interested in learning anything more about DDR, you can ask around there. Or you can also check out the DDR Asyncs or DDR Racing if you want to do some races with me.
First of all, Tobias, why? Second of all, Frogs 1 had Strength 2. I don't know what to say myself, so just
I appreciate it.
Okay, final check we can do in Fire Temple right here. Highest Goron.
Big key. Yes! That is Dotso sweating there, since the last check, Pierre does require hookshot, so. Actually playing Song of Time in this room? Nani? I guess technically it might, on VC, it's probably faster to go back and actually use the proper shortcut that you were supposed to do, rather than just reset and do it. I think on EverDrive, you'd likely be about the same.
And then somehow we fall all this way down and land perfectly without taking fall damage, because reasons.
Because OoT. Now, Dotso, worryingly, is completely out of explosives. So hopefully, end up finding some pretty soon.
Alright. In the meantime, Eggside. Waterfall.
Shot. There's that Way of the Hero. Or probably Way of the Hero. Definitely is very good. Actually, no, because we have water, so it is a Way of the Hero for sure.
But, hold on. The diving minigame may also have something important.
Yeah, and maybe may not be the hinted item, but it is definitely a Way of the Hero item for sure. We can hope there. Maybe both hookshots are right here. That could be the... No, apparently not.
Alright, hookshot it is.
Nice quick spin to get Volvage on the way down, too.
Now what is Egg trying to do?
Oh, so he is doing a... so he did a trick there called Burn and Stick. So that's a way to clip past King Zora without giving him the letter. I'm not 100% certain of how that one works. I think it's that when you do a jump slash as the stick is burning down, so you get the jump forward from the jump slash, but the stick is burnt, so you don't have the recoil effect. It's, I think, how it works, but not certain. There are like 3 or 4 different ways to skip past King Zora as child. As adult, there's probably a couple, but only one is really relevant. So depending on what kind of items you have, there are various different ways to get past King Zora and do Jabu.
Well, either way, we are now in Jabu Jabu's belly, and I mean, Akka said it best. Egg is taking their child too and making it work.
Takes a little longer.
And there we go. I want to say that is the Spirit Medallion that has been acquired.
Oh, Egg opting to do a similar trick as we saw with in DC on Dotsa side, doing the same kind of thing here in order to get this, in order to grab this tentacle. Almost it was. Pierre has an item. That's a Monka.
Yeah, we have all the small keys.
That's a big Monka. You kind of just hope that Pierre is a key because you can skip some extra keys on fire. So, we just hope it's not important then. It's probably fine, right?
Okay, I want to say that was the map chest that was previously opened, the one that requires the boomerang. Here's the compass. If I'm wrong on that, then the two are inverted, and I apologize for that.
I think it's... You're technically supposed to get the map first.
Either way, neither one was important.
Yeah, I think you get map first, then compass, typically, so I assume that's the order.
And, well, there we go. Datsu just breaking in to Zora's domain that way. It's like... whoever uses the song Doorbell anymore?
And yeah, reminder that Datsu does have Zelda's Lullaby. He could just go in normally. But that's lame. Here we have a better look at the thing we were mentioning earlier. So you side hop up the hill here, and then tap the sign, and then when next time you head up, the red ice gone. And Egg's doing her first Mega Flip. So there's a specific frame of an explosion that gives you some pushback. And if you backflip on that frame, you can get a giant flip backwards, depending on your positioning and your timing. And just using that in order to just completely skip Rudo. Skipping one of the item checks in here, but hopefully we'll be fine, right?
Yeah,
just like Pierre, you just hope it's not there.
I was about to say, did Eggmeister actually check the boomerang room?
And yeah, Akashika's correct. It didn't have another 2, so had to do it first try. And yeah, did not check the boomerang room because that would involve taking Rudo all the way around, and that would be way too slow.
There is... And, yes, Tobias, Egg did a Mega Flip with a Bomb Chew. A singular Bomb Chew. None of our runners have explosives right now, for the record.
Yeah. They're both out of chews. And yeah, Bomb Chew explosions, or Bomb Chew Mega Flips, are, in my opinion, if you're on a console that can pause buffer, easier than Bomb ones. Because there is some nice visual cues you can use to figure out when you have to do all the different actions. So if you're on a console that can pause buffer consistently, and you feel comfortable doing that, and you want to learn Mega Flips, my recommendation would be to start learning with Mega Flip Chews, since they have some nice visual cues you can use. And of course, if you do want to learn, you are welcome to ask around in DDR discussion, or Gameplay and Tricks also has people very happy to teach you glitches. Very nice, clean fight from Egg there. I mean, as clean as you can be when you're in the stomach of a giant fish, you know.
Alright, as Dotso gets the iron boots, Egg gets arrows. Also, Hi, Rudo. We did not rescue you. We didn't even carry you.
Yeah, we have literally no idea who this person is. We didn't get her letter. We didn't see her at the entrances. We didn't escort her through the entire thing. Who is this person? What's she doing in a fish?
I don't have an answer. Anyway, even if the Temple of Time is foolish, and thus we're probably going to just get serenade from the one medallion check, it's at the very least we have an easy access to Water Temple if we need it.
We will need to go there later anyway, so, hey. It's not bad. Didn't do that? Well. Hopefully that doesn't bite him.
I'm just noticing something. We don't have Nocturne yet. And this Requiem check is going to determine whether we need Water Temple or not.
Well, we know we need to butte water. But yeah, Nocturne isn't a huge problem as long as they find Hookshot, they'll be fine. So Egg's got Hookshot, so we'll definitely be okay. Tatsu, we'll see what he ends up doing. Saria.
So we do have not. Wait, Zora's Fountain is we have 4 Barons?
Yeah, I think for strong/very strong, I think it's got a lot of Baron. It's got a lot of way here, and it's got good items too. It's a real helpful hint distro. Tobias, I played Breath of the Wild. I think if they've got a question mark above their head, what that means that they're about to spot you, and you need to get behind cover before the question mark fills up entirely red.
I think my question mark is filling more yellow, as in what? I'm confused. Or is that orange? I forget which. Anyway, reverse wasteland, because why the hell not?
Yeah. It's fine, right? We also saw Dotso did a nice clip there where you just you use the recoil speed that you get from hitting the red ice to just slide right through. Because walls are suggestions.
I no longer understand this, Rando.
That's OoT is a well-coded video game. We also see Egg is doing QPA, like we saw Dotso did earlier, or not quick QPA, empty jump slash, like we saw earlier.
And then somehow Eggmeister turning into a camper to light torches, because why not?
So in case you missed it earlier, what happened there?
There's the final slingshot.
Nice. Definitely need that. So what Ed did there is did a trick called empty jump slash. So if you have your sword out right at the edge of a ledge, and then you in one after the other, frame by frame, you press the movement and then A and then B, you will do a jump slash in midair, but after having put away your sword. So you're doing a jump slash with nothing in your hands. This causes you to get a glitch damage value on your jump slash, and so it means whenever you crouch stab, it has like just garbage value that it's doing. And part of that garbage value that it's pulling has Din's Fire. So your crouch stab has the properties of Din's Fire on it. Because OoT is a coded video game. Some might even say that it has good coding. I don't know if I agree with that part. It's got coding, that's for sure.
The game is well coded enough to the point that it can be played from beginning to end and allow for occasional sequence breaks.
Yep.
There are some things where the developers did not know of certain things that runners of the future have started to utilize, such as jumping over an insurmountable waist-high fence.
Yep.
Uh,
You know, and the insurmountable feat of a fence that's just like, it's like waist high, you know.
I
We'll give Wolf a couple minutes. I think, you know, need to reboot, it sounds like. Not that you need to reboot because you're a tractor. I mean, tractors I think also need to reboot, but we've already determined that, you know.
Wait, are we seriously going back to that conversation?
Oh yeah, this game is like ridiculous.
Wait a second. Wait a second. Dotso, what are you doing up on the hillside?
Yeah, you know, it's fine. The well-coded video game. It doesn't like seemed so much.
But I mean, I get conceptually what Dotso's trying to do. Get into the Hyrule Castle Ferry without explosives, but it's more like just, how do you get up there in the first place?
So yeah, so seams are kind of, like most of this game, seams are kind of jank. And so if you're really, really walking up, like, right against the seam where the two meet, the collision just doesn't work properly, and you can just walk right up there. It helps in this case if you see he's getting ISG, so that means that he won't fall down. And that, in a lot of cases, is what's allowing it to, like, be extra jank.
We're no longer going to mess with that. Instead, we're just... What's the point of doing ISG to get over to Talon when you could just take the normal way, especially since you have to take your time to clip through the fence?
Yeah, the developers never expected you to go that side, so it just doesn't have collision, you know? Because why would it need collision on that side? It's, you know, why waste time putting collision on a fence, you know? No one's ever going to get to the backside of there. And yes, Tobias is right. It is theoretically faster, but much more importantly, it's cooler because it's not intended.
I get the idea on, you know, maybe saving bits to only have collision on one side and not the other. I suspect that's been going on with a lot of different objects here. But look, I'm trying not to refer to particular, you know, references that I know, but at the same time, it's just, oh my god. Game development is definitely a fascinating world, but at the same time, to all the companies out there, pay your developers, give them time off. Avoid crunch.
Yeah. Avoid crunch, and you know, game testing is really good, really important. Obviously, there's very few games that survive like 23 years of people actively trying to break it. So, you know, that's definitely been a factor.
Well, there's Strength 3. Not that I don't think we need Strength 3.
Now, these runners, I doubt needed Strength 1, so. And no, you are correct, Tobias. Dotso did not reach his original goal of clipping that fairy fountain. I think he accidentally talked to it, and I think might have messed up his ISG, so he opted to just, you know, keep going.
I thought the actual clip itself didn't work. Also, Eggmeister, you did not support the local Gerudo economy. Why did you not pay your 10 rupees? Why am I even?
He saved 10 rupees, you know? Yeah, so that's a trick called ledge clip. We've seen it like once or twice before, but the goal there is specifically as Adult Link. And there are certain corners that when you climb them up, you're partially clipped. And if you retarget on a particular frame of the climbing animation, you then clip all the way out of bounds. So it's useful in a couple different places, notably there, in order to save 10 rupees, you know?
I mean, I'm pretty sure I've seen... At this point, I think I've seen most of these tricks before. It's just... It's still shocking for me to see them.
It is a nice thing. A lot of tricks that you'll see here are used throughout the speedrunning community. Notably, in this case, you might, as mentioned, we already got the Carpenter, so the clip into GTG isn't super useful. But in something like Bingo, where you would have to get 4 Carpenters, clipping into GTG is very, very useful.
Keep up with a lot of speedrunning scenes anymore, so I no longer know what's considered possible.
The only thing that is the limits of possibility are your imagination and the little bits of duct tape that hold this game together. There's sometimes some pretty good duct tape. Whoever did the switch in Jabu that you have to hold Rudo above, 10 out of 10 job. That thing is solid.
Solid as in actually doing a good job, or solid as in just physically solid and not a liquid or gas?
Both, actually. Because that's one that you cannot skip. So you do 100% need to have Rudo in order to activate that switch. So good job, Dev. Did your job well. So gaining hero, hoping for pain. For these runners. They can do a trick in order to not need lens for that. Specifically, Egg has bottle and has Samsung, so you could technically do that right now if you wanted to. It would still be annoying to do for them, but technically it's possible.
I'm guessing that's what Tobias is referring to as the Ocarina items thing, because as far as I'm aware, normally you can't even play Song of Time, much less any song in that game.
Yes, it's really weird because they specifically programmed it so you can't use an ocarina, but they didn't program it that you can't use like your sword.
But that's a B button. Oh wait, fake bug thing.
Yeah, so what we may end up seeing, but yeah, what you do is if you catch something in a bottle and then you backflip and then press the bottle and the B button.
There's a bomb bag.
What ends up happening is that the game tries to play a cutscene for the item that you're, the sword, but it doesn't have a cutscene that it knows to use. So it just defaults to whatever the default is, which is playing an ocarina. And yes, people are pretty sure that the reason you can't use an ocarina in the lens minigame is probably because they realized that it broke it completely, and we're like, you know what? We can't fix this feasibly within our time crunch. Just make it so they can't use the ocarina, and that's good enough.
I'm still flabbergasted at some of the potential with this game.
Yeah, and once again, if you are looking to learn even a little bit of what is being seen here, you can check out the Discord. You can check out the DDR racing or DDR discussion. We'll both have people, depending if you want to race DDR or if you're planning just want to learn tricks. You can also check the gameplay and tricks section. All of these will have people very happy to help you learn, including notably Egg, who's actually support now. So congrats, Egg, on being getting support now. Good job, definitely well deserved. But he is incredibly knowledgeable about how tricks work in this game, so we'll be happy to teach you.
How many of these tricks would translate over to the 3D version of the Rando?
It varies. They have different physics, so sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. And so there are actually some 3D specific ones too.
I only ask because I sometimes I find the 3D version of the Rando a little bit more tolerable to control, especially as I'm getting old.
Yeah, people who run 3D more maybe have more knowledge than I do on that front as to what's possible and not, because I do know they patch some things, and notably Infinite Sword Glitch has been patched out in all but some of the like really weirdest ways of activating it. But some other things probably still work because, you know, it's when you're making a port, unless you're completely rewriting a game, it's hard to skip some of these glitches popping up.
That's fair. Also, wait a second. I thought, yeah, does Egg not have Song of Time? Because I would have just opened that. I would have opened up the toilet room at that point.
I think he. I thought he had Song. Oh, I think it's Dotso that has Song of Time actually.
Oh.
So his tracker hasn't said that he's done it, so I will trust the tracker. You know, trackers know all. Trackers see all.
Okay. Anyway, we have 6 small keys in. Oh right, we forgot to open up this lobby check. We have 7. Okay, the entire maze of GTG should be accessible.
Yeah, who knows? It could be amazing.
Ugh. That one was a little bit on the lower quality side.
Hey, you know, everyone knows that for puns, there's like an inverse bell curve of the shittier the pun, the better it is. I see what you do there, Tobias. I approve. Ooh, and now Dotso's going to do Child Zora's Domain, so we'll get his hookshot here. Which, will hookshot be go mode for him?
Not entirely sure. Also, we have already found all 9 small keys in GTG. Toilet has something.
Oh boy. I think that's going to be actually go mode for Dotso, once he gets this hookshot. Because he'll be able to do, water. And, because he's got, like, I mean, for Dotso, he's got everything he'll need. He'll be able to do shoutouts, so that should be, once he gets the hookshot, go mode for it. Ooh, and Egg's doing some weird shots. I'm not even going to try explain weird shots. They're weird. You drop a bomb, you roll into it, you pull out hookshot, and game go brew.
Well, okay, so much for needing the small keys, I guess. A long shot.
Nice.
So, I think, I want to say the hook shot or long shot in GTG is our primary way of the hero there.
Yeah, it's definitely long shot is way of the hero. Whether that bomb bag is way of the hero, we don't know. We know that we need some kind of logical explosive, but maybe there's another one that's accessible. So it's tough to say whether that bomb bag is way of the hero or not. Whereas that long shot definitely is.
So, also speaking of hook shots, okay. So first hook shot was Domain Torches. You can obviously use that plus Epona's Song. The 3 strengths were Hyrule Field Market Grotto, aka Boulders of Destiny, Frog's 1, and Gerudo Fortress on the Roof. So honestly, that could be our first logical bomb bag.
Yeah, it could be. It could very easily be, because, yeah, we don't know what's left, like where the other 2 are, and at this point, it's going to be pretty gross once we do find them, so.
Yes. Where's Rudo's letter? I know our runners don't need it, but where is it?
And yeah, as a reminder, it is logically required. So the game will need you will require you to have Rudo's letter before you go do like Jabu. So it is logically needed in this case. Frog. We don't need that, but you know, we always take Speed Frog. Interesting. So Dotso is registering Scarecrows?
I mean, it's not a bad idea, especially considering what we just dealt with in Fire Temple.
Oh, I think I realized why he's still looking for checks, because in my mind I think he's in go mode, but he needs explosives. Technically he could do he could grab the bomb shoes from the carpet salesman like Egg did. That's probably enough for what he needs for the rest, but it's still a bit spoopy.
Also, Egg just managed to why did you? You had a hammer. Why did you not use a hammer?
A hammer is an intended method, and thus objectively worse. Once again, a thing of it sometimes is nice. It sometimes is faster to just not use glitches, but
also I think that was Nairu's love on the Gerudo Valley box.
We'll take that, and by take it I mean completely ignore it. Here we see the other version of Mega Flip or Mega Side Hop. No, he's doing Mega Flip with bombs. So just to get that zooms and grab a bottle.
I'll admit that one is a little impressive, but at the same time, just
it's
that's
technically
3 of our
faster.
bottles.
Yeah, I think the only one we're missing is I think Rudo's left. And we'll see how much Dotso ends up doing of, especially Jabu, because Jabu is one that, probably want to avoid as much of a possible. He's also doing, in case you missed on the egg side, if the broken burning stick setup. I think it's burning stick is what it's called. But if you do the jump slash here at a particular time, and time it right, you end up jumping into the. I think how it works is that you end up doing the jump slash into the load or to clip, and then the stick burns out, and so you don't have the recoil effect. Is I think how it works, but not confident. There you go.
Yeah, Tobias is also right. For all of these shenanigans that I still don't understand, Ed can just clear Water Temple without a problem.
Intended? What is this word you use? Is that when you do the dungeon, but you only use ISG?
No, Dobby.
Oh, so it's when you use ISG and mega flipping, right?
No, Dobby.
Something to do with tents? Oh, this makes sense. It's like when you go to the carpenter tent. You have to go to Water Temple going through the carpenter tent. This makes sense.
I give up.
We will see how much of the dungeon that Egg decides to do. If he ends up just deciding to full clear it, or if he decides to, if he decides to, once he finds the boss key, just do Morpha. Either really are possible. He does still need, in his case, he also needs magic. He needs magic, and I think actually that's it for him, question mark? I think so. So in his case, he may opt to just leave once he finds the boss key, or just go defeat the Morpha once he finds the boss key, and just hope he runs into magic along the way. I think water is also really bad in terms of check density. It's mostly keys.
And we've already found 2 small keys so far.
For episode 56 of The Walls Are Suggestions on Egg Side.
Also, what is this pause buffering that Dotso's trying to do?
He's doing the same thing that we saw Egg do. He's just doing a pause buffer version of it. So he's trying to do the similar setup where he's using, and he's calling Navi on the same frame that he lands on the switch, in order to cause it to be pushed down for longer. He is apparently opting to do a couple more checks here. I'm not quite sure what he's looking for. My guess is a palm bag. Because he's got. Otherwise, I think he's got everything he'll need for the seed.
But I mean, I think you are right. We are effectively in chat go mode or no mode. It's just our two runners have to get each other's missing pieces, unless. Hang on, I'm double checking items counts. Actually, Egg may be in go mode.
He doesn't have magic, so in his case, he needs to find magic for sure.
Right.
So I'm 5 choose is low. 5 choose is definitely risky. So it may be that he's just hoping he'll find another bomb bag. Is kind of my guess of what's happening, because technically he'd probably be fine with a number of explosives he has left. Because he can do like recoil for water. He can do like shadow. You can skip directly in. So there's lots of things, but like 5 choose is risky depending on what you end up needing to do in the dungeon. I also appreciate that Egg has 2 bottles with green potion in it, yet doesn't have magic. So, you know.
That's rando for you.
It's rando gonna rando. Are you doing it? Dasa, do it. Go for it. Yes. Yes. So you saw some mega flips using bombs and shoes. This is probably the funniest way to do it, though.
By using an enemy that's supposed to paralyze you?
Doing not that. Pretend I didn't say anything, and then I'll do it again in like 20 seconds, and we're going to pretend it's the first time I said something. Okay, cool. As are both resetting, actually.
Also, at this point, Water Temple is down to 3 small keys, 1 boss key, and 1 item. And considering how this dungeon is laid out, it is entirely possible that the item is not on Morpha.
Yeah, we're kind of Egg does have iron boots, so can definitely full clear it if need be. Kind of hoping he's probably kind of hoping that he just finds the boss key pretty soon. Oh, and our Dotso. So yeah, you saw earlier bombs and shoes. This is the best or the funniest way to mega flip, assuming he gets it here. Yeah, there you go.
What?
It's great.
What?
Meanwhile, Egg is also deciding that he doesn't want to use his iron boots that he's got right now. You know, that's lame. So is opting to instead get to the chest that's normally locked behind all that stuff. He's just gonna float to it, you know.
Well, apparently not entirely float, because we still have the combat room to deal with.
Yeah, I think technically you can get like all the way to the chest, I think, but it's trickier to do. So you know, he has iron boots, so he just I think may have just done this as a backup.
Alright, central pillar check.
That's
is
the
our
boss
boss key.
So worth it for him to do that.
And then once we take Morpha out, we will have access to Nocturne, which, well, again, lack of magic means no Shadow Temple for Egg yet.
He'll probably go for it.
But I thought the rules were that you had to enter the Shadow Temple through its vanilla end. Wait.
Yeah,
don't tell me there's a way to despawn the door.
There are several ways to despawn the door, actually, but that's actually not allowed. For DDR, you have to enter more or less the intended way. So in the case of Shadow Temple, you have to light the torches and then walk in through the door. But the key part is you just have to light the torches. So you can either use Din's Fire, you can use Fire Arrows, or you can use that trick that we've seen them do a couple times, where you can use Empty Jump Slash. That lights the torches, and so you can do that. Once again, as I remind you, Not only is it not required, you can see on Dotso's side, he actually has all the things you need in order to enter Shadow Temple the intended way. So not only is it 100% not required, in Dotso's case, it would actually be slower to go for it. So, and it's definitely one of those cases where glitches, technically you can do it, not required, and would not actually be faster.
So then the big question becomes, if Egg is able to do all this, and then get to Ganon's castle, there, as far as we're aware, you still require magic in order to use the light arrows, correct?
Correct. There is, even in DDR, there's no way to skip in any seed that you need to beat Ganondorf. You need to have light arrows, you need to have bow, and you need to have magic. So those are 100% constants in every single seed.
At least there's some consistency around here.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you don't necessarily get it all.
It's definitely one of the things that people tend to say that, DDR skips all the item requirements. It's not the case. As you mentioned, for Jabu, you are 100% required to have your hook, boomerang, sorry. For Water, you are 100% required to have at least one hook shot. For Fire Temple, you're 100% required to have a hammer. For Spirit Temple, you're 100% required to have a near shield. For Forest, you're 100% required to have a hook shot. Some of the other requirements can be a bit fuzzy sometimes. Shadow, you also 100% required to have Zelda's Lullaby. But yeah, some of the other requirements can be a bit fuzzy sometimes, but those are the ones that you are 100% guaranteed to need. Is that a near shield?
I was wondering the same thing.
That'd be hilarious.
Well, at least Dotso does have Requiem if I'm viewing his tracker correctly.
Oh, is it Tunic? I could believe Tunic. Next shoes.
We will gladly take extra bomb shoes.
Yeah, even Egg, who's got a bomb bag, will probably still take those shoes. No, Egg, go back and get those. No, this is disrespectful for Dotso, who would love those shoes. You go back and get those, young man.
Egg has regular explosives. I think they'll be fine.
But more explosives is always better. In the context of video games, I would like to note for the NSA. Just putting that out there.
I really do not understand anything anymore.
So let's see. Dotso is probably going to opt to go to Water Temple right now. Probably less likely to need explosives there. So, and he's got a warp song to go right there. So makes sense. Also, nice rupee count on Dotso's side.
Okay. I am going to ask a technical question here. I may be mixing up different rule sets because there's a lot of them when it comes to Ocarina Time Randomizer. Does DDR require 5 medallions for the bridge or 6?
So for the settings, the rule set itself doesn't have any requirements because just the rules of what we're allowed to do. The settings that we have here, that are in use here, in order to access the Rainbow Bridge, they need 3 dungeon rewards. And then to get Ganon's boss key, they need 6 medallions.
Okay.
So technically, both could access Ganon's castle right now.
Thank you.
Which probably would be good check density-wise, so. I think that would be a smart play, but I didn't think of it, so maybe they won't either.
And knowing our luck, you don't even need Strength 3 for the light trial checks.
No. That one's actually one of the easier ones to skip. Because what you can do there is you can like either exit and re-enter Spirit Trial. It's the more the more consistent way, especially if you're learning, or you can side hop in and out of the area with the scrubs. And it causes the game to duplicate the actor that's responsible for each of the light beams. And eventually it just corrupts the memory so much that there's not enough space for the... Hey, Greg. There's not enough space for the block in front of Light Trial, so it just disappears.
Good to know that even in these settings, the green rupee of eternal glory still lives on.
Cubs is wrong. Greg is great.
I did not realize that Cubs has an issue with it, but
Cubs has opinions about Greg. But, you know...
maybe he should have named it then.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's about Greg the name or Greg the check. To be fair, Greg is also a bingo goal. I love it. It's great. Oh, smart. Yeah, if he's decided that he's in go mode, that's almost certainly a good indication. Because in my mind, he's been in go mode for a little bit, and was just basically hoping for explosives. What? Of course, Dotso would go for this. Walls are suggestions. Yes, he's got hover boots. You could just go around, but you know that was way cooler if it worked.
Brain is breaking.
It might have been to save an explosive.
What? So... Oh, okay. Just a little off-center. Or I guess in that case, a little more on-center to do that. I don't know anymore.
Yeah, possibly was just too far away as well.
Anyway, Eggmeister now going to Fire Temple.
Just like fire.
Now, the unfortunate part is the boss key is in Deep Fire, so we kind of have a bit of a distance.
That's okay. We can go the distance. We'll be there someday. For you, we can be strong. We know that every mile will be worth it.
Something, Dark Side of the Moon.
No, it's somewhere I belong, but pretty close.
I couldn't tell which song you were going for there. I am just...
We'll see. We do know also on Egg side, as he's going for fire, that is Deep Fire that has the boss key. He also has Hookshot, so technically could go for Pierre if he wanted to. We don't know if it's good. We didn't see Dotso go for it, so we'll see if it ends up being the case. Both that if he goes for it and if it ends up being good. We do think it has an item, so you know there's a chance. And likely will, or definitely once we see Dotso get the once Dotso finds the boss key, he's just going to go straight for the boss. We also see the other method, as I mentioned, like way earlier, for in DDR, in order to do the in order to get to the boss door, you need either long shot or you need hover boots. And so we'll see the other method for getting across here, probably in a little bit once Dotso actually goes to center pillar. I think you're right. I think it is called Go the Distance. It's either that or like Somewhere I Belong, something like that. I don't remember which one's the name. Either way, it is that song I was going for, though, so.
Alright, is Dotso going to attempt to do some fancy block clip thing here, like... Nope, that's more of a, vanilla approach.
I mean, give or take the hover boots, but...
I no longer know anything.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the only part of that wasn't intended is the hover boots across the gap, as opposed to using the long shot. But yeah, other than that, it was 100% vanilla. Welcome, Tannerin. It's make sure if you want to get Tobias to sing "Go the Distance," make sure to get your subscriptions in now and put them towards singing. Make sure to put it towards that incentive.
And Tanner and I kind of figured that going in at this point. I mean, yes, Akka, that's true, but this is even more stretched thin than.
Yes,
I get that it's more like guidelines. I get that. I'm pretty sure I've made that joke too, but at the same time, this is a little bit more overwhelming than I was expecting. And I called Wind Waker tournaments during the Wind Waker Rando tournaments during its inaugural season. And I still couldn't believe what I saw there.
Oh, on Dotso's side, we're about to see some funness. So, on a specific frame of recoil from the hammer, you'll see him put on the hover boots, like this one, I think. Yeah, there you go. And just a little bit like we saw with that Moblin, you can use the hover boots to preserve the momentum. In this case, just go right across the gap.
Okay, that type of trick I think I've genuinely done before. Though, that there was one time when I tried a multi-world of this game, someone had lost power, they had my long shot, and so I had to try to do something like that to get across there, and then similarly across to Gerudo Valley.
So yeah, you did some hover sliding. There you go. Well, basically a glitch pro already.
That's the only thing I kind of know how to do, and even then I didn't know how to do it buffered, so I just had to time the D-pad press correctly, which is more of a pain than it really should be.
Yeah, it's fine. You got through it, and you learned, and now it would be easier for you to do it again. There you go.
I have no desire to do that again.
If you do want to learn how to do that or something else, you can check out the Discord. You can check out the DDR discussion or DDR or the what is the other one? Gameplay and tricks. And you can ask around in there, and they will be very happy to teach you. Notably, Egg, who's support, will be super thrilled to help you learn how to do the hover slide or any of the other crazy things you see here.
I should have realized I was setting myself up for a plug there.
I mean, yeah, have to go for plugs.
I mean, that makes sense. It just feels like going once every 30 minutes. Considering that we shout out everyone else, once an hour, it's... I don't know the appropriate ratios here.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about what the appropriate ratio is for plugging. We are getting close to the 2 hours, though, so it's probably a good time to once again shout out our team, though. So first up, our 2 runners, Dotso and Egg, who you see here. If you are definitely give them a follow if you're at all interested in the cool stuff you see here, as well as our 2 trackers, who may or may not be tractors. We don't judge. Tobias and Akka, as well as, of course, my co-commentator, who you see here, Wolfman, who has been so nice in hopping in to help me just experience this. You get like live experience. It's like a live reaction, on YouTube.
But we are on Twitch right now.
Yeah, it's like a live reaction on YouTube, but on Twitch.
There are so many platforms out there right now. But yeah, also Dalby is very much an expert at this, so don't forget about following him.
I guess, maybe.
You are the one that's carrying this commentary.
Yeah, that doesn't mean I can actually do any of these things, though. So if you're if you're looking to actually see people use this stuff, definitely would recommend giving these 2 a follow. He's also using DINs.
And I personally see nothing wrong with that.
I mean, it's fine. It's technically faster, but it's also intended, so I will happily waste time in order to do an unintended thing. Because I just like wasting time and being cool like that.
As a
We will-
commentator, are we supposed to waste time?
Is this a trick question? I mean, technically, what is watching, watching and commenting a restream, but, helping others waste time? And is it really wasted if you're just appreciate the things you're doing? Chat, discuss.
Anyway, Tatsu is in the Shadow Temple and is about to deal with Dead Hand. Okay, I know that's something that's allowed in the initial game, but still, that hand dodge, I still don't get how that's done.
You just go get up close, almost to where you trigger the hand, but not quite, and then you do a jump attack. And the hands won't trigger if you're mid-air, so it just kind of goes to grab you, and it's like, oh, actually, never mind, it'd be rude. So it doesn't. There's also a really funny thing that I've had happen, where if you, backflip into the hand also works too. Where I've had it that, like, I get grabbed by the hand just as the dead hand goes underground, and he pushes me out of the range. And Link still does, like, the hand motion, like he's getting grabbed by the hand, but nothing's grabbing onto him. So it's just like him choking himself out in the middle of the room. Which, honestly, I don't think it's the time for it, Link, but once again, we don't judge. Hashtag free the Gorons. I mean, I guess. If it's convenient, I guess you should.
He was right there, so... Then why is Eggmeister still opening up... Oh, right, magic. Yeah, the location of the second magic may end up determining how quickly Egg can finish this seed, but if I'm understanding, honestly, I think Datsu's going to finish within the next 15 to 20 minutes.
Yeah, he should be, like, honestly, even 15 might be a lot. Depends where this boss key is in Shadow. If it ends up with an early boss key, he could be done Shadow in, like, less than 5 minutes.
Well, we have the early Silver's room left, and this is the one that has that shortcut, I believe.
Yeah.
So, I guess we're gonna find out.
We'll find out after these messages from us.
Those that are not subscribed will end up seeing an ad for who knows what right now.
Me. Ooh, and Egg doing here a fun strat where you do a weird shot to go underneath the ground here. It's mentioned if you missed it earlier. It's weird. I'm not going to try to explain it. But this causes your hitbox and your entire character model actually to be underneath the ground. And so you can use the bow in such a way that it hits Volvagia underneath the collision. So it's pretty fast.
So you're telling me that Eggmeister actually damaged Volvagia before the battle even started?
Yep, you'll actually see Volvagia is about to be real dead real quick. Just going to like hit Volvagia and instantly be dead. You know the meme of, from, I think it's JoJo's, you were dead and you don't know it yet? It's this fight.
Why was I thinking that was One Punch Man?
It might be One Punch Man? I thought it was JoJo, but I'm not certain.
Both of them involve ridiculousness with physical feats, so...
It's anime AF.
We'll go with that, sure.
It might be Fist of the North Star. I'm not an expert when it comes to animes, so. Oh, we see on Dotso's side, he's going for a fun clip here. We saw a different version as well on Egg's side, but if you have an enemy like right up near a wall, you can then use the hookshot to actually clip through the wall itself.
And there's a boss key, there's a small key. I think we're going to see that shortcut.
Yep, we are going to see that shortcut.
Okay, so is this going to be another ledge clip or corner clip?
We're clipping through a corner, if that counts. This is one that there are like 600 different setups, and every runner will have a different setup and insist that theirs is objectively correct. All of them are wrong except for the ones that use the same setup I do. But if you have your own setup, that's, I guess, okay too. I do forget which one Dotso goes for. I think he actually uses the same one I do, where you go into the corner and then do interrupted slashes. But we'll see. Either way, the goal here is to clip through this fence that's charm block. Yes, he does the same one I do. And get out here, so that way we can just go to the boat early. And how that one works, because that's the same one I use, is you get in the corner and then you side hop left 3 times, and then you slash and interrupt that with the shield, slash interrupt with the shield, and slash and don't interrupt, and after that you can just jump slash through the wall. So, in my opinion, it's a decently easy setup to do, and very consistent. And here we actually see the reason why Zelda's Lullaby is hard required for DDR, even. And that's because you still need to take the boat. Regardless of the various methods, since boss skips are not allowed, you are 100% required to use the boat.
And there is no way to just go across the moat without Zelda's Lullaby, correct?
It's technically there. You could theoretically, but in practice, no, and not in DDR for sure.
Yeah, I was about to say, even if you could do bomb hovering, I don't think 50 bombs would be enough to get you through.
Yeah, it's theoretically you could use combination of bombs and chews, which might have you enough, but it's also exceptionally difficult because there is slippery slopes. All along that path, there are some slopes that are like the kind you slide off of, and you can't bomb hover when you're on top of the slippery slope. So it's exceptionally difficult to do. I think there might also be a void warp, maybe, but that one also might end up with the boss door unloaded. So, also thank you, Egg, for saving before entering DC. Ooh, Dotson not going for the... Oh, Dotson doesn't have bombs. That's why he's not going for the quick kill.
I think at this point, explosives are just entirely optional now.
Yeah, at this point, he doesn't need them. He'll be fine.
I mean, I've heard of staring down evil, but that's a little ridiculous.
It's my favorite way to fight Bongo. It's probably the second most fun boss to fight with ISG. Since every single frame you're stabbing, you can use it to stun the hands, and you can also just stand there and Bongo will run directly into your sword. It's great.
Okay, good to see that Link has spent some time with Luigi then.
Yeah, he wins by doing absolutely nothing after getting ISG. You could see the pause of really, really on Dotso. I think I heard him say, "Oh, come on," from here.
Why did a bomb bag have to be there?
So that's definitely bomb locked for sure. We don't know where the other one is, but yeah, that's fantastic.
This has broken me.
Meanwhile, we'll see Egg finishing out the dungeon that earlier he had the VC crash in. So
yeah, we did those shoutouts a little bit earlier, partially because we weren't sure how quickly this run was going to end, and obviously, Dot's going to finish within the next 10 minutes.
Yeah. But yes, we appreciate, you shouting out our volunteers again. Huge shout outs to all of them, including our trackers, doing a fantastic job here, letting us know what is, here and accessible and what they've gotten. And of course, our runners and my co-commentator, all doing fantastic jobs. And I guess Tobias also doing a fantastic job as restreamer, but already shouted out as tracker. So, double shoutouts. Well, and we will see Egg here go for the go into Shadow Temple, very likely, since that's all that's required from him. He's also playing Nocturne because he just got it. I mean, I guess won't see the hookjaw jump to get in there. But I guess that's acceptable. And here we'll see what I was mentioning, that you don't actually need magic. In case you missed it, earlier, what he's doing is, oh, that was fast. What he's doing is getting to an edge with a sword out, and then in very quick succession, one frame after the other, moving downwards, then pressing A and pressing B. That causes you to jump with nothing in your hands. And this gives a glitch damage value onto your sword. And one of the values that is associated with this garbage value is that of Din's Fire. So it allows you to light torches.
So then where's the second magic?
The real second magic were the friends we made along the way.
Without the silliness. Where is... Because Egg still requires that to finish the game, especially if they don't go back to bottom of the well.
Yeah, we'll definitely see, because that's going to be we don't know. It could be. It doesn't lock very much, and so it's really tough to say where it can end up being. Come on, Dot. So you literally, this is the only thing you can do with bombs. I guess you can do the super slide, but you won't. Come on, do the head.
Also, Tobias, we didn't check everything in Shadow, so it's entirely possible it could be in there. We got the boss key relatively early, so we just save warp back to the beginning and just, took the easy way to the boat.
Yeah, it saves a boatload of time. Or at least a half a boatload of time.
Aka, I will formally apologize for both of us.
Oh, good, because I wasn't going to apologize. We do see here some real fun light arrows ISG on Ganondorf, guaranteeing the one cycle there. That's really great if you're not on EverDrive. On EverDrive, it's a PowerPoint presentation here. So I think I've managed to get ISG exactly once ever. Do the slide. Yeah, do it. Yeah! We'll also see some fun here. Thanks, Dotso. So Dotso technically does have Hammer, so could do the other strat. But what he's doing here is, if you notice, he's in this cutscene holding out a shield, and that prevents him from doing a certain animation during this cutscene. Notably, this cutscene is taking longer than I have a feeling. Here
now.
Yeah, the one that normally plays at that point that is actually the animation that gets rid of the sword, and so because doesn't have that animation play, you get to keep the sword.
This is another one of those tricks that isn't allowed in standard, correct?
Correct. It's not allowed in standard, which is unfortunate because I love it. But this version of it definitely. I don't know. Technically, you can do it with Din's Fire, and I don't know if that one is technically allowed. It's also ridiculous. But I love it so much because, I mean, you have 2 Master Swords. And you still only have one at a time, but there are 2 Master Swords. And you can start getting your GGs ready, as Dotso will be done in, like, less than a minute. And by less than a minute, I mean however long this cutscene takes, which is like 45 minutes, so...
You mean closer to 20 to 30 seconds?
It feels like 45 minutes when you're in a race, and I'm like, just let me done already.
Do not worry, Dobby. There's only 4 sets of actions that need to be done now. A slice, a slice, a slice, and a stab.
So GG, official time of 2:11:52. Great job for Dotso. Overall, really well done, and good routing, some good execution, and some great glitches. So I'm happy. We will probably see if he wants to come in for an interview.
And I am just still lost and confused as all get out, but...
Oh, perfect. Apparently Tobias is on it. So. Meantime, we see Egg going through the rest of Shadow, so still needs that magic, unfortunately. But at least we'll have all the medallions he needs.
Why is... Wait a second.
So Egg doesn't have the hover boots, so there's 2 gaps in this temple that are too wide to cross normally. So he has to do mega flips, the same one we saw earlier, in order to cross these gaps. Whee!
Not what I meant, but there is so much that I am confused by when it comes to this, but this is where we could probably use some help. For some reason, I thought I heard Dotso come in here, but apparently that was just my ears playing tricks on me.
Oh, there we go. Now you heard him come in here.
I've lost track
Ralco.
of everything. Welcome, Dotso.
Hello.
GG's.
Thank you.
So, I guess, I've learned a number of things when it comes to this rule set. Bomb bags are apparently optional.
I would have liked to have one.
We loved, everyone in chat was laughing at that bomb bag in Shadow, and I could hear you, like, your frustration from here. It was great.
The internal rage.
Of course, now. I do also appreciate you using the bombs right at the end there keep the sword.
I was tempted to not use them at all.
Don't give them the satisfaction, you know?
Well, it's so rare that you get a bomb bagless seed.
Mm-hmm.
There actually was a bomb bag, though.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah, Egg actually found one. We had it in GTG. Along with Longshot as well.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. But do you have any overall thoughts for how the seed went?
I want more chews, please.
Yeah.
And easier to find boss keys, especially in fire.
Oh, sweating
did
for
you
that
shoot
one.
the sun?
No.
There were chews there.
Oh, well, whatever.
Yeah. The disrespect, Egg didn't pick them up, so we don't know how many chews. But we know there are chews there. Egg also did, before finding Bomb Bag, because Egg also bought some from the carpet salesman.
That would have been smart.
Yeah. I was definitely wondering, because I was like, I think there was like a 20-minute time where I'm like, technically Dotsu is in go mode, but also chew count is spoopy.
Yeah. I'm also sad about Domain. I had to look up the video for the freaking burning stick.
Oh, for the pause buffer for it.
You don't even have to buffer that. I just do it because I suck at doing anything analog related on a timer.
That's fair. I mean, I pause buffer pretty much everything I can, so. But yeah, definitely. I do know. We do know that that early well dip was very good for you, finding those hover baits very early.
Mm-hmm.
Egg still hasn't gone to well, and still is missing magic too. So both of those being in well is really nice this seed.
Yeah, I don't know. I was walking to the castle and I'm like, I have a feeling. I just went for well. When it's good, it's good. When it's bad, it's terrible.
Yeah, and in this particular case, it ended up being really good, but had it had nothing in it, it would have been quite annoying and waste a decent amount of time, so.
Yeah. I also went because I had choose, so I could full clear it, which was part of my decision.
Yeah. Full clear even without Zelda's Lullaby, so yeah, take it.
Yeah. Thanks, Blanky.
Yeah. Dotso, or sorry, not Dotso. Egg is still missing the light arrows. So, or not light arrows.
No,
sorry.
no, Egg has light arrows.
And light has light arrows. It looks like I don't know if he's going to Ganon against Castle, but he's missing magic. So we don't know where the second one of those are. So hopefully he ends up finding them soon. Because yeah, I don't know how soon he'll go to the bottom of the well for sure.
With all of the way of the hero hints, probably not very safe.
It was also unfortunate for Egg side. We also saw he had a VT crash in DC.
Oh, bummer.
Which thankfully he saved at the beginning and there was nothing in there. But it did mean he had to redo some of the completion stuff inside, so kind of just more of an annoyance than anything else, than a huge waste of time, but still annoying.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, where was Ferrars?
That's a good question.
I assume GTG.
No, I did not. The only place that hasn't been checked in GTG was the toilet, and I will confirm it does have an item.
Yeah, we know it has an item, but we don't know what it is. Maybe the trackers remembers where FW was. Because I don't remember. It was before long shot. Oh, it was GTG. Okay, cool. Thank you, Akashika.
I just figured at this point GTG has every slingshot, some bottles for Rosewind.
We found the final bomb bag. It was in Ice Trial.
Wow, that's been accessible for a while, unfortunately, but that's okay. You didn't need it.
That's the first one.
Yeah, that's the first logical one, almost certainly.
With the GTG one being second.
Yeah.
I don't remember where
Opponents was, I think, part of 3 songs, I think. So decently early.
Yeah, it was. I remember it was 3 song. I don't remember which one.
I do not remember which specific one
I think
either.
I think it was ZL, because I think I remember getting that and being like, oh, I can go to GTG, and then I never went to GTG.
Ended up paying off for you. I mean,
yeah.
I think well, it probably would have been a bit faster depending when you gone, because I think hookshot was the main thing you were missing, and it also had bomb bag, so
yeah,
probably would have been decent, but it ended up being fine.
Oh, there's the other shield. Yeah, I thought about going as child when I had choose again, but at that point I was like, I don't really need a hookshot. Also, there's these other way of the hero locations, so
Yeah, overall, what are your thoughts for 6 Medallion versus the hints? Like how the two of them interact?
What were the hints on this one? Just very strong.
It was either strong or very strong. I don't remember which of the two it was, but it's one of the two presets. With the only difference being that like the normal things have more of it.
Gotcha. I like the more random hints. I think that's a pretty good balance for this kind of rule set where everything's super strong and it kind of makes it a little bit more execution based, but at the same time 6 med is so scary and so logic dependent that it's kind of hard to tell. I definitely think you could I definitely think there are some seeds where the hints would suck and reading logic would be better, and then there were some seeds where the hints are going to be amazing and logic is so hard to read that being able to read it is basically pointless. Yeah, I don't know. I think going back or going to these settings for a tournament would potentially be good. Especially since you could effectively play this in standard and still perform really well. Just because logic is such a huge part of it now, with everything required. The hints won't miss anything out. But for me, the downside is now the hints kind of suffer. Because you're no longer being shown things that are completely necessary. Which was the case with variable medallions.
Yeah, there are very few things with variable medallions that would be Way of the Hero and still be useless.
Whereas here we have all of the logical things like boots and tunics and wallets and just I don't need any of this stuff. I can skip all of this stuff.
Ended up being nice in this particular seed that the Way of the Hero led to, I think, hookshot, bomb bag, hammer, boomerang.
Yeah.
Din's Fire, Iron Boots were the two main ones that it's kind of would definitely be helpful, and I would love them. But depending on the player, may not be necessary. So.
Yeah, I mean, also as CAC Way of the Hero could have been Song of Time if that was the only magic. Because I don't think Egg cleared Shadow. I can't see him doing that.
Oh, Song of Storms, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's possible too. Then, yeah. Yeah, we don't know where the other magic is, so we can't really confirm at this point. But we'll see afterwards, I guess, in the spoiler log once the race is all done.
I was exceedingly happy about the stone locations. Anytime I don't have to do Spirit.
Well, not only that, but also getting the Baron hint for Spirit is chef's kiss.
Oh, I didn't even get that one.
Yeah, it was Baron hint for Spirit as well as Stone. It's the dream.
So I'm going in here just to leave again, only to get Requiem.
Yeah. Just heading in, flipping off the dungeon, and then leaving.
Yep.
Any other thoughts or comments you might have about the seed? Or the settings?
I would like a magic hint. I think I think it is strong. I don't think Egg would play with very strong. But adding that magic hint, I think, would be a good little balance kind of thing. Because then it does come into this casino item hunt nonsense.
As we see on Egg's side, if you all you have left is magic can be almost anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I mean, the problem for him too is, Attack's Way of the Hero, the sky's blue, but it also had another item. It's hard to justify seeing the song and then not taking the rang as the item that it was hinted. Although that is a gamble to play. Because Storms alone locks, like, what, 20 checks or something?
Yeah, and it's definitely a gamble, and like one that a lot of times, like, I didn't even think about it until you mentioned it. That, oh right, that's logically that is required.
Yeah, because you have to have hovers.
Yeah, and well, either way, we know that like magic can't be in shadow regardless, or the first magic can't be in shadow regardless. So
Right. But I mean, that's the kind of thing I mean because with variable medallions, that would never happen, where you were unsure of what was Way of the Hero, or at least it was way rarer.
yeah, where either you were unsure if it's the way of the hero that was picked, or like in this case, it's super easy to say like it is 100% required. Like it is at least a way of the hero item for sure.
Yeah, whereas here it's like, well, the Rang is also Way of the Hero. So which one did it choose?
Which I don't know if 6.2.158 if that includes that, because I know Miraxis has it now, so it actually tells you what item was for. But I don't know if that's included in 6.2.158, since we did have to run this on a prior version of dev because the plane broke again.
Oh, in the log.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't look at that many spoiler logs these days.
We'll see once this race is over.
Yeah, I am curious. Like, I'm also curious, like, where the mirror shield is, just for, reasons.
Just to know.
Oh, where was the third string?
Let's see. Frogs won. And
Some grotto that I didn't want to find.
GTG roof or Gerudo Fortress roof.
So basically everything was in Gerudo. Got it.
Yeah, everything was Gerudo area.
Dang you, early Paponas.
Oh, we think that the top of the because I think what you're referring to is the top of the arch, which I think we think is a tunic.
That's Bronze Tunic.
But I don't think we saw it otherwise.
Yeah, I had to like triple take it that. Let it spin to see the front.
Egg is finally going into the well.
Egg playing the song to go in the well, Dan's game.
Yeah, it loses automatically. That's
Automatic loss. Auto D. So yeah, Dotso did it's not the objectively best way to enter bottom of the well, but he did still a correct way of entering it, where you use the Navi dive. That's like the middle way. Egg's doing obviously the intended way, which is objectively the worst. The best way is you can pick up a chicken while annoying it, or like while having ISG, and that causes it to very, very quickly get to the point that as soon as you drop it, it's going to try and murder your face. And so you can position yourself right next to the well, and then backflip in. And so during that cutscene of the chicken deciding it's going to summon all of its friends to try and feast on your corpse, you just sink straight through the water and enter bottom of the well. Objectively the best way. We do know that Egg is currently in the right spot, at least to find his magic, so that's very good.
I forget which chest it was.
It's in the chew chest. The front bombable one. I only know because it cost me a chew, and I used only like 12 chews this whole game.
Wow, Egg is also skipping the hovers. At this point, they're not that useful, but...
Yeah, no reason to deal with the give to.
Yeah, but no. More like it.
Ooh. Alright. Y'all have fun finishing up. I'm gonna go for a walk before D&D.
That's fair. Thanks for joining and for being on Restream. And GG's again, and I'll see you in an hour and a half.
See ya.
There we go. So there's that last magic there for Egg. Yeah, so he is about to go to the... also make some bacon.
Granted, we do have to age up first, but after that, sure.
Also, Egg's tunic is lame because it's vanilla. Clearly, objectively, should be a cool color. He also does have really good equipment for getting through the fight quickly. So my guess is he's probably going to be done. Maybe, like, definitely sub 240. Assuming everything goes well. Maybe 235 if he's real fast. Probably not, though. Because he still has to do the climb. Meantime, we'll see. He also didn't... None of our players actually found Big Goron Sword either. So we don't know what exactly... where that is. Could be good. Could be good to have for these fights themselves, but definitely not necessary, so...
Which means it's probably on Child Spirit.
Can it be in Child Spirit? Because of the Baron? I forget if that's allowed to be in a Baron or a location or not.
Forest, then.
Oh, it could be Forest. Forest would suck. Oh, he's apparently cleared some of these rooms.
Yep, Egg went up to the Stalfos room to claim their last possessions, you thief. But, no dice.
Yeah.
Just got a, heart piece or heart container for the trouble.
I appreciate that you're you're mostly concerned about the, the stealing as opposed to the murder. Priorities. I'm like, yeah, he might have killed them, but he also stole their stuff, and clearly that's the worst part.
Old habits from another rando I used to commentate are a little hard to get rid of. And I'm trying, I'm just failing.
I'm guessing, Link's Awakening?
I will neither confirm nor deny.
So that's a yes. Got it!
Okay, Egg is trying to go for the style points for this this Hess here, but theirs are being stubborn today.
Oh, there you go. Come on, do the Hess. He keeps being just a bit late, so instead he's getting the butt.
I'm sorry, do you want to say that again?
Oh, it's 100% intended. So what he's actually getting is if you're 1 frame late for the Hess, you get a forward extended super slide or a fess. But those of you who know French know that fess is the French word for butt. So I always call it, anytime you get the forward extended super slide, I call it you get the butt. Because, I'm 6 years old. He did eventually get the Hess up the stairs, though, which I think is actually our first Hess that we saw. That's one of the movement techs you have in DDR, where you roll into an explosion and hold ESS position or just off from neutral and retarget at a specific time, and that causes you to zoom backwards at really high speed while also being a maneuver. That is the fastest form of movement in the game, with also having the most maneuverable, but it's also somewhat difficult to set up. So if you're just setting out, what we actually recommend is instead if you learn Super Slide. It's similar in concept and it has the same speed, but it's much easier to perform. The only downside is that you can only go straight backwards. But for most applications, when you're just starting out, that's going to be fine for you. So that's something that if you're learning out, and we do recommend that you can start with that. There's also extended super slide, which is where you hold ESS position out of the super slide, and that's slower but has maneuverability. So between the super slide and normal ESS, you can get almost as good as Hyper Extended Super Slide. It is by no means something you should think is required in order to play DDR, or even to be really good at DDR. And we see here Egg doing the more standard way of doing this fight, where you just have a hammer and use that instead. So should be through this fight pretty quickly. Just 3 hits to the tail, and then we'll be good to go for phase 2. Nicely done.
And then it doesn't matter whether you end up with a clone sword or not, you still have to pick up the alleged original.
Yep. Even though it's very clearly a fake, it's still required to pick it up. And also auto-equips for you. Fun fact. Nice ISG too. Which is actually the only reason that the Defeat Ganon actually works as Child, is because it auto-equips, or else it would be... to Defeat Ganon would be, like, much, much longer. Get your GGs ready in chat as Egg has defeated the pig and is now just waiting out the 45-minute cutscene.
And with the power of the hammer sword, that is a very strange thing for me to say. We just have to deal with a slice, 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 stab.
GG's. Official time of 2:37:47.
Okay, maybe my eyes need to be checked, because I thought that said 49.
You are correct. Reading too hard, please nerf.
I don't know if a few seconds are really going to matter that much in the grand scheme of things, but... let's at least see if Egg wishes to come in for an interview. Meantime, if any of you folks feel like you want to do this sort of thing, like whether you want to hit the buttons and show what items people have, or if you want to talk up here in the booth, or maybe even use the, power of restreaming to show these matches, we are accepting volunteers. So please go to the form link in the chat and, why don't you join us? I mean, you heard how badly I did on this one, so clearly you can do better.
I disagree. You did fantastic. Always appreciate having someone to, even if you've just experienced the game first time, it's great to have someone who's doing that for DDR. Also, welcome Egg.
Whoa, I hate bottom of the well. I really do.
So yes, you might have guessed Dotso did bottom
yeah,
of
it went
earlier,
right? Like probably within 20 minutes. Yep.
Yeah, he did it in
Classic
Child 1.
Dotso play. Trust me, if I ever do that, it ain't ever gonna work. Majority of seeds I do, I don't even touch bottom of the well. It's fine, but it happens. I mean, Storms was way the hero, so probably should have gone earlier.
Yeah, well, it's not to say because Rang was also there, and Rang was also way of the hero. So,
yeah, but there was 2 Woth hints for CAC. There was 4 gossip stones that said way the hero for CAC.
Oh,
Wait,
then you haven't.
Oh gosh, I didn't even catch that.
Yeah. So I imagine it's Rang and Storms. The only reason I didn't go to well earlier was because you got that strength on frogs in the rain, and then you had GTG being way the hero, and there was also something back there, and then you got gold gauntlets. So that meant that all the strengths were in logic. So I was like, oh, Magic's going to be in light trial.
No,
it wasn't.
And bamboozled.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the other Magic was in Shadow, but I didn't feel like doing anything more in there. Maybe it wasn't there.
Was in go mode at that point, so
yeah.
Also dipped ASAP.
Wouldn't be surprising. I mean, it's mostly it pretty much has to be a not necessarily has to be a magic lock magic that hovers alone makes bottom of wall way the hero.
It could have been forest. None of you dived into
That's true.
forest, but otherwise, yeah. This
somewhere.
seed got you both in different ways. Though I think it only got Dotso in a funnier way. You found bombs way before he did.
Was bombs in? Was that domain or GTG? I forget which one had bombs.
GTG.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that was hinted way the hero. That was fine. The bombs on Bongo is funny.
Those were his first bombs.
Ah. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, by the time I was going to GTG, I was perfectly fine not getting bombs for the rest of the seed. Just buy some choose. 10 would be fine for the rest of the seed at that point. So.
Dotso, I know, was a lot more strapped for choose. I think by the time he was going through Shadow, he had like 3 or 4 left. He had covers though, so obviously that helped. So it didn't have to use like very many at all in Shadow.
Just gotta use the one. The one for the one wall that can't be broken with hammer because reasons.
Because OoT is a video game.
I guess you could go reverse if you wanted to.
I guess you could, and I think your keys are fine in that case, but
yeah,
spooky.
It depends on keys. But yeah, I don't know. At that point, like bomb bag was like whatever. You have wallet, you're already in that area, so.
Yeah, well, I think Dotso didn't go to like GTG or Gerudo Fortress or Spirit or anywhere near there, so.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, you had Spirit, Baron, but the GTG way hero made it.
Really good. But do you have any thoughts for the how the settings went? I know that these are your settings, so typically you tend to like them. At least I hope, but I also know that Dotso, one thing he was suggesting, and not sure your opinion on it, Egg, of adding a path of magic for this, or like a magic hint in general. Oh, everyone's gone quiet, which might mean that. Oh, you think we might have lost Egg? Oh, it's possible. I was worried, like, might have just lost internet in general, but
I actually had a similar concern for myself. Technology, why must you be so fickle?
It seems like either the signal has been scrambled or Egg has been scrambled. It's one of the two.
You seriously have to make that? Is your brain fried?
We have to make sure the seed is over easy,
That is I am well and truly done with this. Tobias, take us out of here! Just Tobias,
yes, sir. Let's do
this.
it. That is Egg disconnecting, losing the connection to the Discord here. So with that, and is now in the waiting room, I guess. Shall we give him one more chance to answer your question? Actually, Dubby.
Sure, we can add him back.
Let's add him back. All right.
Baby pole. That's surprising.
Welcome back, Egg.
Wait, can you hear me? You can.
Now we can hear you. Yes. You dropped from the call randomly, and we're back in the waiting room.
I got, and then my computer was like, "Time to update," and I'm like, "Okay." I don't know. I don't know why Elgato was like, "I'm going to crash the computer because I'm not using it anymore." Like, okay.
Hope you weren't using it. Haha.
Yeah. Well, good thing I have a phone, I guess. But yeah, that was a fun seed.
So one thing we can get your opinion on, because Dotso had mentioned it. He was thinking he would enjoy if there was a magic hint in it as well, and it like a guaranteed magic hint as part of this. What are your thoughts as part of that?
Yeah, I don't really like guaranteed hints for like any specific item. Like with the fact that we're getting like 5 way the heroes, we're removing so many bait from it already. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, this one Ice Cavern was like, here's dins and irons, the things you don't care about. But I mean, that's just part of it, right? Outside of that, I mean, you still had plenty of hints. And to be fair, one of the hints did lead you to magic. That cat can't lead you directly to the magic.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily opposed to it. I really have no feelings one way or another. I just, generally speaking, don't like direct hints. Also, to keep in mind that because this is very strong, your sometimes hints can be direct too. There's been many times I've done a seed like this and I've gotten like Hammer is in Goron City or something. So you add on top of the fact that your hints are pretty strong, I don't think it's necessary, to the point at which I think the hints might be even too strong. But yeah, I guess magic can be annoying. The way I feel about it, though, is like you take magic away, there's just gonna be something else that you'll be annoyed about. There's 2 in the pool, so you'll probably be fine. But yeah, there is a chance that like with 2 magics, you could just have it never be pointed to. Of course, if both are available, obviously. That's probably relatively common. I mean, it'll be interesting to actually gen enough seeds and see. But I wouldn't be surprised if like 60% of the time both magics are logically available at the same time. It wouldn't surprise me. Magic isn't all that logically relevant.
And yeah, and for magic hint, I think it's less, not necessarily like either a named item or like a guaranteed item, but could also be something like a path of magic, which then it's still tied to logic, so it still isn't necessarily guaranteed to be a hint. Here is magic, but just nudge on the right direction, probably.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of whatever to me. I don't really have a strong. If more people would prefer it, then that's fine. As it stands, it's just the hints are extremely strong already. And that wouldn't necessarily make it even stronger, assuming you remove away the hero for it or something. That'd be fine. But like in this given seed, it's potential. Like you always just have way the heroes just eventually give you the strengths, but that's just kind of how it be sometimes. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be opposed to it. I really don't have any feelings about it one way or another. I don't think it's necessary though, personally. Even though I got screwed by it, I guess technically this seed, but that's neither here nor there. Sometimes magic just likes to be jabroni, and you just gotta kind of deal with it, I guess. But it's not terrible. I think like overall, it's something definitely worth like trying. I know like No Logic really likes their magic hints. So like throwing it in there is fine, I guess. I guess to be fair, like, if you're taking the strength of the overall hint will stay pretty much the same, so it's fine. I would say, probably, hopefully, maybe.
Well, that's good to know. At least now we have differing opinions, and that's fine. Lots of people in the community have lots of strong opinions on various things, so it's always cool for the most part that people tend to be pretty flexible, at least to some extent, about what's good or not. If you are looking to, give your opinion on the subject, you can check out the Discord and go to the DDR discussion channel. If there are particular settings that you think would make it more fun and that you would like, in particular if you're planning on joining any of these races or on joining DDR S2, which we highly encourage, you can go chat in there and give us your opinion.
Yeah, always welcome more people. If you have any questions about how to do things, you can either ask them like DDR discussion or just gameplay on support. We'll always help you out figuring out things, because it's a difficult world out there if you're trying to learn stuff by yourself. Because good luck finding a video that's not 10 years old. So unless you want to learn the boomer strats, you can become the ultimate boomer and just learn like C up strats or something. Have fun with that, I guess.
RG feeling called out.
Does he? He probably does, yeah. Hey, C up can be faster. It rarely is, but it could be.
It could be. If it works, it works.
It works. It works. It doesn't really matter.
So probably. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Egg.
Oh, I was just saying I really got nothing else. C was fun. That's about it.
Glad to hear. It was definitely fun to comm, and I hope it was really nice to have some new comms with me. Always appreciate training some new blood. So Wolfman, thanks for joining me on commentary. Be sure to give follow, as well as of course our track They may or may not be tractors. We don't judge. Tobias and Akashi, the latter of which has left already. Had to do real life stuff herself, but appreciate both of you guys, including Tobias, who's doing restream stuff. And of course, our two runners that we saw today, Dotso and Egg, who both do lots of cool, fun glitch stuff. Egg notably does a lot of DDR stuff. You can also check out our other racers we have here, the Consultant and Shiro, both of which are super fun players. So we recommend all of the above.
And don't forget Dobby, who is somehow keeping everything slightly under control, though maybe a little bit too much on the pun game. So I think Tobias will provide the last quip.
I mean, I really should have just edited that trackers command to say tractors instead. But given that opportunity just got away from me, all I have to say is thank you once again to all our volunteers and our runners. And let's raid over to Scrubs Central, where there's an OOTR race in progress. As for what is up next on Zelda Speedruns itself, let's say more OOTR, of course, but we need volunteers to make it happen. The OOT Randomizer Standard and NA Weekly and EU Weekly are next on the schedule, and we would love to make that happen, but we're still looking for volunteers. So if you want to volunteer and help us out, and have time tonight or tomorrow, we'd love your help. And next on the schedule after that is some Wind Waker Randomizer on ZSR2, OFC 2000 Alex versus Goat Quiver, and on ZSR1, Spytron versus Gymnast 86. Those are starting tomorrow at 4 p.m. UTC, 12 noon Eastern, and 5 p.m. UTC, 1 p.m. Eastern, respectively. And other than that, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time on ZSR.